GoPro.
No plugs,
At the
but it's right there with it. It's good. I mean, I don't think it's I don't think it's as good, but it's definitely not bad.
Well, hello. Dang, that feels good on my throat. Hello, Miss Diane. How you doing, darling? Hello, Hawkins family. Jay. Yeah, yeah. I'm not any worse anyway, Jay. It's gonna take a few days. As long as that crap stays out of my chest, I'm gonna be happy. Is the cat typing or you typing, Diane? hmm. Maybe that's a new shorthand. Dang, that wind just blew in here. He's slapping you? I think everybody got that stuff. Hell, if you just teach a cat to talk to it and it type for you, that'd be all right. Yeah. You don't never know about this crud. But some people it don't hit too hard. Some people it just kicks their butt. I don't think they even know what to do with it. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? I tell you what, it's so hot here. I don't think it'd do any good to plant anything. I've been thinking about it, but I haven't had time to do it and ain't felt like it. Hey, She Devil, how you doing? Well, tell him I said hello. Oh, it'll take me a minute to get wound up tonight. Oh, I'm still feeling with my fingers, Janice. I'm gonna be all right. That's about what we've got, She Devil. It's still 90 something degrees here. The crazy dog of mine is in trouble again. You better not lay anything on the floor where that dog can get to it. Good night, Hawkins family. Appreciate you coming in. Sometimes that's the best thing to do. Actually, I've had to do that for some family members, and it's not fun. Oh, I threw some uh, ginger ale up on the bed, and I heard something going. Well, he done shoot the lid off two of them. Got on him for that, and then he was down in the floor. And they had sent me some cream when that knee first got to getting bad, and he said he's going to open that box. And I caught him before he did too much to it. Oh yeah, and he tried to eat a pack of cigarettes. You'd think he's starving to death. Well, that's a little warmer than it has been, isn't it, Janet? Yeah, well, I think he's supposed to be hot here for the rest of the week. Boy, that humidity's what kills you. Well, if he'd just smoke them, I probably wouldn't raise sand, but eating them, he brand new pack of cigarettes and he shoots the bottom half off. I bought him that big old bone the other day. I thought he'll have a ball with that. That'll give him something to chew on. He's fooled with it one time. He just, I don't know. We don't want to mess with it. Ooh, that coffee feels good on my throat. No, he just one time, Diane. I figured he'd be toting it around. I know when I do ribs, you give him a couple rib bones. Hello, Lily. Give him a couple rib bones. Well, hello, outdoor adventure with Ron. How you doing, man? Hey, but I figured he'd go for that old big bone. But now them barbecue ribs, now he'll wear them out. Hello, Cam Go One. How you doing? Excuse me. Well, I think that's something that people gotta make that choice on their own. Yeah, I need to do that. I got the honey sitting right up there. And I took the first 2 shots, and I wasn't going to take them. Hello, Steve. How you doing? I wasn't going to take them, and my son's an RN, and he was working on a crew that went from hospitals all in the Dallas area to relieve the people in the hospital on the COVID unit. Well, all of them wound up and got it, and so I talked to him about that second shot or the first shot, and he told me, he said, now he got pretty bad, and until they hit that infusion, hello, Rat Pack, and then that started bringing him right back out of it. But he said something, and he said the only reason I'm taking it, said all the doctors and nurses are taking it. Said and that says something to me. And so I went ahead and took a second shot, but then I was around some people that took that booster, and that booster made some of them just sicker than a dog. I didn't take that booster. I don't think I am. Hello, Amy. Did you find a babysitter? Not for you, for the dog. Hello, Fairy Dust. Miss Ann J, how you and the puppies getting along? Not fun. Hello, Plugs. What's the matter, Ann? Hey, River. Finger, Lillian. Oh, I'm about the same. It just, it's sort of like a yo-yo off. It's a feeling really bad, and then I'll break out and start sweating, and temperature go down, and then I quit sweating. It goes back up, like being on a yo-yo. What you up to, Linda? Did you? Where you at? Miss Fairy does. Did I see on here that you went and looked at a rig the other day? Sometimes I think two keep each other busy. I saw the pictures of them, man. They're cute little bugs. Are you kennel training them? How come, Linda? Linda Barker, I don't remember saying hello to you, but if I did, I'll say it again. Hello, you. How come is it easier, Barry? Do you have trouble seeing the screen, or? Yeah, it usually takes a little while to get tent camping squared around like you want to. Yeah, that makes a difference. If I'd gonna tent camp this time of the year, so I'd have an AC that fit in the corner. Here in Texas, it's just too damn hot. I know on my RV, it's about 2 o'clock, from about 2 to about 4:30. They just won't keep up. Yeah, if I can plug in, I don't mind going. Boy, that new cab over I bought, you have icicles hanging off your rear end and it if you turn it up. Kitty cats and puppies. Hey, Ron Z, Mr. G, how you doing? Ain't seen you in a few days. I never did see if you answered me or not. And are you kennel training them or? No fun seekers. I tell you what, a raccoon can do just about anything if you got them around there. Now you got the AC in it. That's a good deal. Rocky is really funny. He's I've had his kennel in the same place in this travel trailer since I've got it. And I was changing some stuff around in there and I moved his kennel. He was swole up for 2 days. And he still wanted to get in that kennel. You gotta make him get in it. I haven't fooled with YouTube today. I'll have to go look at it, Linda. I ain't done nothing but slept today. Mr. G, how you been doing? Hey, fun seekers, how you doing, man? Hey, mm, yeah, that's when I get sick. I'm just like a damn bear. I hibernate, especially if I'm running fever. Yeah, not the same, KT. I can't complain, Ron. See, where you at, bud? Are you back in the Dallas area? I can't keep up with where everybody's at. My little pea brain gonna have to swell up a little bit. You gonna wrap up in 10 days? Okay. I knew you should be getting close. Hello, Kenny. Yeah, and I imagine them dogs are probably as spoiled as mine are. I can't beat that. Make a nice little tip. Mm, that might feel good from down here, Linda.
Barely caught that.
Hey,
Hey, Ron.
how you doing?
All right, let me get the rotate fixed here. Ta-da!
There you go.
Chrome's responding. Wait, there we go.
Now, the humidity hadn't been real bad here. Once it gets to 100, well, the humidity drops here. Uh, about the worst humidity we get is about 98. Now, it's sort of bad right in there. Unless you want to go to Timmy Ray's country, down there at Fort Polk, it'd be 100 degrees and 100% humidity.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy, y'all. You getting a Texas drawl, do you, Mr. Kenny?
Yeah.
What's the matter?
No, not much. I've been asleep all day, bro. You're talking about sleep right now. Oh, Lord, take me down, please.
You done slept all day too, huh?
I had slept from about a little bit after 7 o'clock this morning until about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I've been asleep 3 times a day. I'd lay down and sleep for 2 or 3 hours and wake up for 30, 40 minutes and go back to sleep.
It hasn't got that hot here to do that stuff. If it gets too hot, I go lethargic, shut down, and I have to sleep. But it's been good.
Yeah, he's picking that Texas accent up, isn't he, Ron C?
That's not a slow Kentucky draw.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, Aunt Jay gonna have her hands full of them two little puppies. but they sure cute.
I haven't seen him yet. Oh, is she got a video out on him?
Do what?
Did she put a video out with the pups in it?
She said she put one out on. I saw a picture someplace.
Come on, get up here, guys. Fill this panel up tonight. Let's have some fun. Ron,
Hey T,
Tim.
AJ.
Hello, T. How you?
Here's Tanya.
Yeah, this old weather gonna be crazy for a little bit until this heat sort of settles down. Boy, they catching it in England over there, UK. Man, they getting hit with it. They're not used to that. Only times I was ever in London, it was always wet and nasty.
Oh, and thank you.
Yeah. That I tell you what, I've got to try the air conditioner out in my cab over, Troy. That's
I heard.
it will work in that area, in that in that little old cab over.
Those are made for about a 20-some foot RV, and you put them in a little camper that's 12 foot long. They will make ice cubes out of you.
Yep.
In fact, you have problems laying in the bed in the overhead if the darn thing's on, because it'll freeze you out. You got to wear a blanket up there.
That's the way I like to sleep, though. It's been getting so hot here between about 2 and 4:30 that this air conditioner in this big RV can't keep up. And you gone on time for it? All right. You have a good one. But I've been going out there and getting that little camper and crawl up in that bunk. And once you do that, well, you're going to be plenty cool then. It's your good sleeping, though. I can't sleep hot.
Me neither.
I get to
Good night,
thinking.
Tim.
You get to thinking about when you was a kid. We had one of those oscillating fans, you know, one to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Boy, you'd be laying there waiting for that fan to come back across.
Yep. I like those fans.
Yeah, I imagine Barry does. I bet you do.
William, the link's a little further up in chat. Might still be there. Boy, a lot of people hopped in here quick tonight, didn't they?
A lot of people what?
Your chat filled up right away tonight.
Yeah.
It's like you came on and they were on it, waiting for you.
So.
It says you got a 29 and 30 you're not watching now.
We had 30 something in here last
It
night.
says
Yeah.
Steve says
And
he
I
grew up in
think
the swamp too.
Yeah, Steve,
I
them
seen you
things
also grew up like, okay, great.
them things work out there in Arizona. You don't work here in Texas. It's too humid.
Oh, they work here in Oregon. I got a little portable one. I'd literally fill the thing full of ice, and it would cool down in one bedroom. Little portable one, like there was air conditioning in there, just by putting ice in it.
What are you talking about, Tim?
Ron, what's my favorite famous word?
Yeah, I don't know what you. Yeah.
Well, I know Ron's is pineapple, but what's Tim's?
For those of you may be only seeing a few thumbs, there's actually 21 on my side. You may have to refresh. Try to refresh or refresh the YouTube page.
Yeah, he's showing
I'm
30.
seeing 21. 21 thumbs up.
Nice.
30 watching and 21 thumbs up.
Dang.
There's
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't
31 now.
I don't usually do this, but if there's anybody in here that hadn't subbed to me, I'd appreciate it. To get me over at 350. I don't usually ask for subs. Here where I live in Texas, those swamp coolers will take and they work sometime, but when that humidity goes up, it just soaks everything. It don't make it good. Yeah, I've been seeing those things, Ron. Too. It looked like it'd be all right if you
I
didn't
haven't
want to
seen one of those.
spend too much money on one air conditioner, just a cooler and some ice and a fan. Boy, this is going way back. But I remember when I was a little kid that they made a deal that was round like a pipe, and you rolled it up in the window on the car, fit over the glass in the car, and you'd run it down the road. Yeah, Peace Dragon, I won't get some different people up here tonight. So, but you drive down the road, and it was a little temporary swamp cooler. You could put ice in it, put water in it, and
I remember those bullets that hung in the window of the old cars that were a 55 AC. Hang it in the window, throw ice in it. They were full of some weird straw stuff. And those are really neat.
yeah, I looked at one of those little small air conditioners. That's a real air conditioner, except it's a 12 volt. But that damn thing was $1,900, I think. Yeah, I've looked at them too. Yeah. Boy, I can remember being in the back seat of a car and you roll the damn window down, it was like being sandblasted. Yeah, heat coming in the back window. Okay, Tim.
That makes Tim poofy.
Yeah, I like to die when I saw the price on it. Yeah, I remember them things. Oh, yeah.
I had a chance to buy one of those bullets that went in the window in the old cars, one of the original ones from the 50s and 60s, about 10 years ago for $250. And I
Wow.
thought about it, and it just wasn't in my budget at the time. And I thought, what a neat accessory to have for a car if you're going to drive around an old classic.
Hello, Michael Ann. How you doing?
Hey, Michael Ann and Amy.
Yeah, do that,
Yeah.
Ron. I'd like to see how that can work. They, I bet you get some dry ice and put you a chunk of dry ice in there with that ice, and it'd probably last a pretty good while.
I wanted to say hello to Lillian. Hello, Lillian and Janice from Oz. Anybody that said hello to me in the chat, hello back to you all.
Are you already in Seattle, Amy? Or are you still at home? Oh, okay. I see it where you took off. Yeah, Rocky done decided he's gonna try to make up now for being in trouble. Oh, bang!
Hey,
Hey, Tim. Get this thing straightened out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's old heat wave. I tell you what, I'd rather have it like this though than I had 10, 15 degrees. I can get in the shade somewhere. Yeah, when he chewed the top off them 2 sodas, he did. Crazy.
Night, T. Have a good night. Hey, Fairy Dust.
Did you get your 5,000 subs? Oh man, that's great, Mobang.
Congratulations, Mobang.
Yeah, that's getting on up there. You got up there pretty damn fast now. How long you been running your channel? When did you really start doing it? Seriously, trying to go with your channel, Tim?
Ron, how many subs did you say he has? Did I hear you right?
I had 349, I think.
No, Tim with Mobang. How many subs does he
Oh.
have?
5,000.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
Yeah, well, and he was trying to get the last 25, I think. I tell you what, you've done really well then, Tim. If you've come up to 5,000 in 2 years.
That is really good, Tim.
Yeah, it sure is. You ought to be proud of that.
I got to say, if you're ever around a meetup and Tim's cooking, you got to try some of his cooking. Tim's an excellent cook.
Oh, I'm
Well,
telling you, I've had some of them egg rolls, and boy, they'll make your tongue slap your brain.
Gina has got a lot of people started. She's pretty good at that. Plug,
Yeah.
you getting 4,000? Yeah, that'll probably kick you over 500, Amy.
Oh, yeah.
Good night, Lillian.
Amy's been a big deal in our community and other communities for a long time. It's about time she got her channel going.
Yeah. Well, I've been advertising in the newspaper for some little old gal that liked to wear a bikini. I figure I could pick subs up pretty fast if I used that for a thumbnail.
All I heard was advertising in a new newspaper, woman in bikini. I heard nothing else, Ron.
Yes, I haven't had any takers yet, but you can't never tell.
Take care of that headache, Lillian.
Hope you get rid of that headache. I'll tell you, headaches is no fun. I've had my share. I can tell you that.
I tell you what, I've had one for about 4 days. I can't get rid of. No, I think I'd lose every sub I had, Steve.
Yeah, that's the reason why I ain't gonna try anything like that myself. No. Mm-mm.
Well, I finally found me a car hauler, Ron. I don't know how somebody didn't snatch this thing up. It's for sale on Craigslist, and she started out at $5,000, and she put it down to $1,000. It's a 16-foot light-duty car hauler with a dovetail and equipment ramps pinned on the back.
Wow.
And it's $1,000. It's got a pintle hitch on it. It doesn't have lights and a tongue jack. That's all it's missing.
What is it a closed-in one or an open trailer?
It's a flatbed with a 3-foot dovetail, 4-foot dovetail, and the equipment load ramps with the legs that come down when you fold them out. And just those ramps on the back cost you $1,000.
That is a hell of a deal.
Yeah, she started out at $5,000 and lowered it down to $1,000, and I jumped all over it. Told her I'll be there in the morning and pick it up. She said I couldn't pick it up till 6.
I'm gonna tell you what, these trailers are going through the floor right now. The prices are dropping on used stuff left and right.
It's good.
Yeah, they got it. It had went too far the other way.
Yeah, Steve, that is a good deal on that trailer. I could, if I didn't need it, I could resell it for 25 to 35.
Yeah, I haven't got to try any Mobank's egg rolls yet.
Let me tell you, you get a hold of one of them, you're not gonna just be able to eat just one.
Like,
Yeah.
like,
It's like it's like them potato chips. When you get a hold of potato chips, you can't just eat just one.
hey, what's the matter with you? Crazy dog.
You know, Ron, I've got 6 vehicles that have not been started in 10 years or have the motor pulled in them down at my other property that I got to get down to this property just to get the place on the market.
Yeah,
We've got
yeah,
a 46 Chevy and a short bed, short bed Chevy sitting down there that don't run. The camper van had the motor pulled. There's a boat and a Justy and another camper van that haven't been fired up in 10 years, just sitting there. Just the trouble of going down and putting batteries in them and getting the bad gas out of them, getting good gas in them, and hoping there's no other issues. I'm better off just to buy a car hauler and haul all the darn things. I'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars just in money, much less time.
yeah. And it's something else you don't have to fool with. That's something that I sure found out is after I retired and I had a business and big shop and all kind of stuff. And the more crap you got, the more it costs you, and the more time it takes.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, I think I'm gonna try to get down to where I may have to keep a shop someplace, but small shop. But
Yep.
uh, I'm gonna try to get down to this one big trailer and that cab over. Use my cab over to do my running and the big trailer to live in, and just get rid of all this other stuff.
That's where I'm at. I mean, the place I'm selling has 2 shops on it. It has
Yeah,
a 10. It has a 20 by 25, and it has a 25 by 40 shops on it. And I just don't need them no more. I just pack stuff in them and never look at it because my back's so bad. I never go out and work on stuff no more. Why
no,
keep it? I don't need them.
well, I tell you what, it's I'm lightening the load on mine. I helped a friend of mine buy a new trailer here a while back, and she was selling. Her husband died, and she was selling her place. She had 100 something acres, and the I got tickled at her over the last year. She got rid of all that stuff and got into a new trailer and got it parked. Found a really nice trailer park, and she told me, she said, it's just like being let out of school, So like a bird out of a cage. They got rid of all that stuff. I don't have to worry about a lawnmower not cranking.
I had a friend tell me that getting rid of all your worldly possessions and relieving is like a relief. It's like a new lease on life. And to answer your question, Timmy Ray, they're mostly Chevrolets.
So yeah,
I mean, I've got 5 small block Chevys sitting in my shop. I've only got 1 vehicle with a motor pulled, but I've got 5 small block Chevys.
mm-hmm.
I'm that type of nutty gearhead, so I just got to get rid of the stuff. We've got 3 of them sitting on motor stands, half tore down and half rebuilt inside a shop, and I just quit working on them. Old
Yeah.
60s muscle motor car, blocks.
I don't have patience for real vehicles anymore. And the mechanic end of it, I used to be a pretty fair mechanic. But I took and since I blew that thumb off and it don't work just right, I got where I hate the mechanic because you always need to start a bolt or something left-handed, and boy, it aggravates the heck out of me. I'll get mad then. Oh,
Yeah.
350s were hard to beat, Timmy Ray.
Timmy Ray, I was talking about like 6 different vehicles, but most of them are 350s. A couple of them are 305s. No, Linda, I wish I had some 327s. Those are some of my favorite Chevrolet motors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that 350 is a good. That 350. That 350 is a good engine. That's what's in. That's what's in that 1976 GMC Royal Sierra pickup truck. It was a 350, which is also known as a 5.7 liter. Good night,
You
Mobang.
gone, Mobang?
Tim, it was good to see you. You keep being you. You're a great person.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm glad to see you hit that point.
Sticks, no, I don't have any throttle body injected motors. They're all carbureted.
I don't imagine you can hardly find anybody to tear down a 4-barrel and fix it nowadays.
I do it myself.
Yeah, you can do it yourself, but that's as far as taking and put one in a shop. What was it that the Quadrajet that was so touchy to rebuild?
Yep. Got to be careful taking them apart. Ball bearings and springs will fly across the room and be gone.
I'm not. I know that 76 has got a 4-barrel carburetor, but I don't know if it's a Quadrajet or if it's a a Holly or what or I don't know what brand it is.
Well, that Quadrajet was a high-performance carburetor, but boy, it was touchy. Hello, Angie. Hey, how you doing, darling?
Tommy, no, I don't have any of those around. I have a friend with a truck with one on it that runs, but the truck's almost scrap in my opinion. But it's got a good TBI on it. It's an 88, I think, 89.
Steve, what did you do with your little buddy that you had in the barrel? Hey.
Angie. I was called a carburetor whisperer when I was a kid because I could fix any carburetor.
I personally like I like carburetor better than I do the fuel injection. That's for sure.
Sailing to heaven.
Yeah. So, did you relocate him permanently or send him to heaven? Okay. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Right around the house like that.
JJ, I got a friend like that. You start talking boats or automotive, and he gets a glaze over his eyes like deer in the headlights.
I just want them to crank and run and not have to work on them no more.
I don't want to work on them either.
I'm seriously thinking about selling my Harley because it seems like the Harleys run great, they ride great, but it seems like they nickel and dime you to death. Like these 2 Hondas I bought here lately, man, you just crank them things and go.
Thank you for the Asian peaches. They're great.
Do what?
Oh, Christian bought me a big bowl of Asian peaches. They're gone.
Oh, okay.
All sliced or Asian pear is what they were. There's one slice left. They're delicious.
What are you doing?
Exactly what's the difference? I know throttle body is throttle body injection, but what's the difference in between and the EFI is electronic fuel injection? But what's the difference? Exactly what's the difference in between the two? Really?
A
Okay.
throttle just got one injector, and it just goes in, and just like a carburetor, it goes to a manifold. A regular EFI has got an injector in each cylinder.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And there's different types of injection within each cylinder. Some are in the intake manifold, some are right in the head, some go straight through the top of the head. But the throttle body injection is literally a carburetor with one or two injectors built into the venturis in the carburetor. So it's like having a regular carburetor, but instead of mixing the fuel, it injects it right there at the air intake. So which was the beginning of fuel injection, basically for Chevrolet working on fuel economy and a few other brands doing the throttle body injection.
KT, now you don't do like that friend of mine, do you? She's that lady I was talking about going full time. She'll take and pull that little gray haired lady business, just act like she's just dumb as a post when it comes to a vehicle, and she probably knows more than most men do. But she'll play that card. I'll be laughing.
Ron, I've known people in the past that thought when the oil light came on, that meant add oil soon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They drove a car around and the oil light would come on, and they thought that it meant it was low on oil. They didn't realize it meant it was completely out of oil and burning up.
Yeah. That I sort of hate to sell this Harley of mine, Angie, because it's got that sidecar on it. And if I built another Harley up or another bike up with a sidecar, that sidecar is about $10,000.
Yeah.
Good night, Angie.
There's just something special about riding with a sidecar, and I like the ones that articulate too. Those are nice.
Well, you seen that one on my channel?
No, I didn't go look. I'll be honest.
And just sometimes go back to where that's some of my first videos. You'll just have to go all the way down to the bottom. And
Is that a matching number sidecar original to the bike, or just something you built?
no, this I bought it as a rig. No, that's not a Harley sidecar.
Okay, I'm gonna go. You get a matching numbers factory sidecar on some of them bikes. Dude, they're worth a fortune, and people don't even know it sometimes because they got it from Grandpa.
Well, I got a buddy of mine that's got that. Was it 206? The Harley commemorative Road Glide, and it's got that Harley matching sidecar on it. And I think he's turned down $50,000-$60,000 for that thing.
Yeah.
Good night, Angie. I hope
I see some fish talking about putting seafoam in a motor to unseize some rings. I tell you what, I've seen recently people doing. They're literally pulling the plugs and filling cylinders full of vinegar overnight, and then cranking the vinegar out and putting their plugs back in them and changing the oil. It cleans out the oil rings, compression rings. It's hard to believe. They'll take an old motor that doesn't even have compression, soak it in vinegar overnight, and run it 20 miles, and the thing comps out in all the cylinders all of a sudden. And it has compression in 2 cylinders on a V8 to start with. Blows my mind how good that vinegar trick works.
I'll be back in a minute.
But yeah, I often wondered because I was thinking because when you put throttle body injection, I thought it had computer and sensors and stuff like that on it.
It does use what's called a Hall effect sensor off the timing to actually control the injection, and it talks with the it has to talk with the throttle position sensor, and it has to talk with the Hall effect sensor off the cam sensor, basically, that controls the timing also, to know how much to adjust, because it actually regulates how much fuel it's spraying into the Venturis. So it does have a simple brain system on the throttle body injection. It's not an actual brain like some of the fuel injected cars do, like my drag car had, that control all 8 cylinders.
Okay.
But it does have simple brain technology in it, talking to different sensors.
Okay. Yeah.
Timmy Ray, my days of racing are over. I just sold a quarter-mile drag car 2 years ago that had 1,000 horsepower. It was a 67 Firebird that was fuel injected with 12 fuel injectors and a blower on top of a big block. I'd never owned a car that responded so quickly in all my life. It was ran on a race management computer, and my days of riding in fast cars or beating my body up are over. I'd love to, but I can't no more. I done all that stuff. I beat myself up badly having my fun. I usually built everything I raced. And I took names and won almost all the time. I was very proud of what I did.
Thanks, Angie. I went ahead and put it in. I went ahead and hit it too as well, and I also reported it because I noticed it wasn't actually hidden. So that the message was.
Scott, it's the guy with the weenie in his belly button.
Hey, Scott.
William, I don't think so. If I did, I'm gonna have to go back and look. He unmuted my mic. I think it's working.
But yeah, I just often wondered what, because I know if you went with electronic fuel injection.
Electronic direct inject is one of the best. The guy that built my Firebird literally built a custom plate, a custom billet aluminum plate, and installed 6 fuel injectors down the side of it on each side. And I had 12.
You're muted.
I don't know why my mic's doing that. I'm not touching it. I just see it pop up and it's muting me. My phone's doing weird stuff, or Ron's having fun with me.
But anyway.
Yeah. We'll bore everybody to death with car talk. We could do that all night, though. Yeah, I've got a gremlin on my phone. It's hanging up on people, doing all kinds of weird stuff lately. I've been hung up on 10 times in the last week, in the middle of a conversation. Now it's muting my mic randomly, I guess.
Yeah. So,
unless Ron was having fun with me.
No, I was trying to figure it out because we had a lag of about 10 seconds on this thing. I thought maybe you were on YouTube, not on StreamYard.
I'm on StreamYards, but I got YouTube running on the TV in front of me. That's why I'm looking up. It's the only way I can read the comments.
It was when I was trying to talk to Kenny on getting rid of that dude that was on here. I couldn't get you to hear what I was saying. So we had a lag or something. Anyway, it's straightened out now.
I got rid of it. I hid it from the channel.
That's good. Idiot. That's the first one we had in a long time.
I seen my name on that, and I was like, that's no. Mm-mm.
No,
That's a troll.
Yeah. That's the first one we've had in a while, but
No, I'll let William know. The weather in Oregon is beautiful right now. It's we were up around lower 90s today with the AC running in the house all day. It was beautiful.
Hey, Steve, did you ever skin any of those rattlers or anything, or save the hides on them? I got some buddies of mine that build these self bows, one-piece bows. They give their eye teeth for a pretty hide like that to put on the front of that bow. And I got one of them that's got a copperhead. Got two copperheads, and that skin's on the front of those bows. Oh, you talk about pretty now.
I bet. You got beautiful skin. I saw a rattlesnake up in Oregon about 8 years ago. Here I was driving down by Plush. It's southeastern Oregon. And it had to be 8 foot long. It was crossing the road. I actually stopped and looked at it, and just in amazement. Biggest rattlesnake I ever saw.
Well, Texas, you got the diamondbacks and a 6.5. No, not on a bow archery.
Bow. Yeah.
About 6.5 foot is about, between there and 7 foot. That's about as big as a diamondback get.
Yeah.
But don't go to Florida and that eastern diamondback. Now that damn thing can get up 10 foot.
Yeah, this one was pushing 10 foot. I didn't measure him, but I waited for him to cross in front of my truck and camper because I was down digging for Oregon sunstones, the labradorites, down at Spectrum Mineral Mines, and they're just out in the desert on top of the ground everywhere out there in certain areas. I took a week-long vacation down there, and as I'm driving out of the area, there's a rattlesnake that's across the whole friggin' road in front of me, and I stopped and let him cross. I let him get to the other side of the road, and I took one of my soda cans and threw it out at him to see what he'd do. He struck that can. There was venom all over the place. He was pissed. I was like, crap, I ain't getting out of my truck for nothing. I let him cross the road, and I slowly drove away. I waited for him to leave, then I went out and got my can, had venom all over it with a napkin, and threw it, in the back of the truck, and threw it in a bag or something so I wouldn't have that venom all over the place. Scared the crap out of me. I'm like, man, I got to pick my can up so I'm not littering, but it's got snake venom all over it. What do I do?
It made me think about something. I was down in South Texas, and we were hunting down there, and pretty close to where Lorraine lives. And we had this guy on this deer lease that was an idiot. If he saw a rattlesnake on the road, he would do his best to run over it. And one day we were running down the road, and there's about a 3.5 foot rattler crawling across the road, and he ducked over there and ran over that rattlesnake. And when he did, I guess that snake hit that tire. But he had his arm out the window, was riding with his arm out the window, and it threw that rattlesnake up, just wrapped around his arm right there. And luckily, he took and he had run over that snake enough to daze him and could get hold of him and get him off his arm before he bit him. But he didn't run over no more rattlesnakes.
I wouldn't have either. That's scary. But I'm allergic to bees and mosquitoes. I can only imagine if a rattlesnake got me. Probably be a death sentence.
Damn, if you're allergic to bees, you carry an EpiPen?
Yeah, I got a lot of them.
Yeah.
Every glove box, I carry here. I'll show you something. I carry this with me. I don't wear it, but I carry this with me. It's a giant man bag, and mainly because in this compartment right here are my EpiPens. So if I'm riding with somebody else or something, I've got them with me.
Well, did the price on them after they took that up board of court, did they finally wind up getting back down to where they wasn't so expensive?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't pay for them. I just get a new one every year. And I was told by a vet tech, or the pharmacy technician and my doctor, that no matter what the expiration date on them, if they don't go cloudy or dark, they're still good. I've got some that are 6, 7 years old that still look clear as the day I got them.
Well,
And
you know,
according to them.
they kicked the price up on them things to where they were like $700-800.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
I've never used one. I refuse. I'm scared to death of needles. I've never used one. I don't want to unless I have to. But I've had limbs swell up and turn purple before I had these in the past.
I got a friend of mine that he gets stung by a bee and he'll be on the ground within 2 or 3 minutes. He keep one in his pocket all the time.
I get stung by a bee and I have a limb swell up within hours. It turns purple in a couple days. I lose circulation. If I get stung around the neck, it'd kill me. I'd be running for the hospital going, I've got like an hour and a half before my neck swells up and it cuts my air off. I swell so bad from bee stings. It's not the anaphylactic shock that gets me, it's the swelling. Mosquito bites leave a silver dollar on me, even a mild one. I swell up for 4 to 6 inches. I get a knot the size of a silver dollar, and then I swell in both directions an extra 2 or 3 inches on a mosquito bite. And bees, a bee sting on a finger will swell me to my elbow.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not allergic to them. When we're kids, we used to get them real light balsam boards to make a paddle out of them and knock them yellow jacket nests down and find them beehives and fight them with them boards. I've been stung many times.
I don't know the difference between a wasp and a bee, Diane, but I tell you what, I've been stung by bees and I swell. I got stung by a wasp in my lip one time and my whole face swelled up, swelled my eyes shut. When I was 16, I got stung again on my 27th birthday up the lakes on Mount Hood. That's when I was leaving the campground the next morning to let them slice my arm open to bring my circulation back at the hospital because my whole arm turned purple from lack of circulation. And that was on day number 3.
You know, Steve was talking about the rattlesnake bites and about yeah, I was thinking that beast dragon.
Morning, Troy.
Yeah, hello, Troy.
Hey, Troy S.
I was thinking about the difference in a bee sting and the stinger is a lot different on the two between that and the wasp.
Well, I grew up near honeybees and they got a stinger that's in the back of their body and it comes out and you can see it pulsating when it's in you. Because a honeybee will sting once and they lose their life because their stinger pulls out of the back of their whatever it's called and it stays with you. Where with other bees like wasp and yellow jackets and all those have a stinger, but they can keep stinging and living.
Yeah. I know about them stingers pulling out.
You had to pull the streets out of people. Okay, guys, now.
He don't know what we're talking about, does he, Kenny?
I know what you're talking about.
Mine wrong chat.
Well,
Hey, Cruising Scene.
hello, Cruising.
Oh.
There's a funny story goes with the bee sting. Right back. And I've told it in here before.
You might as well tell it again, brother.
Yeah. Anyway, I was running a shop and I had a bunch of guys working for me. And we had a pipe yard out behind the shop. And I'd been out there cutting pipe. Well, we also manufactured and sold deer feeders. So they come got me and told me we had somebody up there wanting to look at a deer feeder. Well, I come walking back up to the shop where that man and woman were. And damn, something sort of popped me in the wrong place. And what was right on the bottom of the mountain oysters. That's a good way to put it in a can.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. The no-see-em bite.
And what they laughed about more than anything else, I went to the house and got a pair of tweezers and wasn't nobody there and pulled my britches off. And I had one leg cocked up in the air with them tweezers trying to pull that damn stinger out. And my wife walked in. What in the hell are you doing?
Here and help me, please.
Said, why would you get out of here and leave me alone?
Mhm.
Shut up, Kenny.
To tell you the truth, I got to steam up my backside.
I see the picture of that in my mind.
That's a picture you can't unthink.
Do what?
That's a picture you can't unthink, huh?
Kenny, I got a picture of the look on his wife's face at that moment in my mind.
Yeah. 3 o'clock in the afternoon with no britches on, sitting in the middle of the bed, playing with the doohickey.
Jay, I don't know about the copper penny, but I know we used to chew tobacco out of cigarettes and use meat tenderizer, wet meat tenderizer, and put it right on the sting, and it would actually help pull part of the poison out immediately so it wouldn't swell up as bad. And I know that works for a fact on those two. I've heard of baking soda and other things too. Backer juice.
I tell you one that worked, and it really worked. I've done it to kids and done it to myself. If you get a bee sting or something like that, just a normal person that's not allergic to them, just reach and get you an onion and cut it half in two and go to rubbing on that bee sting, and it neutralizes the pH factor in that venom on a bee sting, and it'll make you stop hurting just in a few minutes. I mean, it just...
I remember that one. They hurt. I compare a bee sting, the beginning of a bee sting, to a bad phlebotomist poking you. That's what a bee sting's like for me, like being stabbed with a needle with a bad person. And then the pain afterwards is just excruciating. It's almost I almost enjoy it when the arm swells up because the pain goes away because of lack of circulation.
Well, you know, that's what I started to say a while ago about Steve was talking about getting rid of the rattlers right around his house, you know. People, if you see somebody who's got a bad bite on an arm or a leg, I've seen them have to split an arm open from the elbow all the way down to the wrist. They'd have it scanned in 2 or 3 places to where it wouldn't act like a tourniquet, cut all the blood circulation off. And I had one friend of mine that played with him down rattler, and he got bit, and he never had bothered him before. He'd been bit a couple times, but that time it did. He like to lost his arm.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
There was a comment earlier about the little ones, and the truth be told, they've learned that the adult ones know how much venom to inject, but the little ones don't know yet. They get excited and they just inject. You know, they go overboard, the babies. And that's why you're better off to get bit by an adult snake than a baby snake, because they just don't know any better and over inject. The old ones know just how much to put in.
Well, you know, the little ones, they don't. A big rattlesnake, if you make him mad, he'll bite you like a dog. He won't inject any poison in you.
No.
And about half the rattlesnake bites are what they call dry bites, to where it just, the little bit that's on the fangs is all that you get off of it.
I'm glad I didn't run into any poisonous snakes as a kid, because I'd play with the gardener snakes out in the back 40 of the property growing up until the point where they'd bite me. I'd play with them, they'd try to get away, and I'd be, no, I'm still playing with you. I wouldn't hurt them or nothing, but I wouldn't let them go. You know, wanted to hold them, play with them, run them through my fingers, and they'd eventually turn around and bite me. You know, I've had enough of you. I got so lucky as a little kid not to have a poisonous snake bite me. I'd have probably fallen over and died right there. I was a dumb little kid playing in the dirt.
I'm gonna tell you what. When I was a kid like that, my grandfather had a ranch, and I'd get up in the morning and grab that BB gun and chuck me something in a salt shaker and some more stuff in my pocket and take off. And I ain't no telling how many rattlesnakes I've killed with a BB gun, shoot them right behind the eye. And the coral snakes down on that creek over Cottonmouth, copperheads, be running around out there barefooted all day long. I don't know how I kept from getting bit.
Oh, we were dumb kids, weren't we?
And
the joys of being young back then. How lucky we were.
I'd get a long stick and the more prickly pear of cactus down there in South Texas, you know. Well, rats will build a nest around the bottom of them. And you can take a stick and go to poking in that nest about half the time a rattlesnake come out, and the other half the time a rat would come out. And you go fire them out with that BB gun. And y'all got
Troy S. When I was younger, we called it tobacco. So I'd never heard of backer. I've heard of the other ones that I saw up there, but we called it tobacco.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, we're all lucky we're still alive.
Yeah, I am. Some of the dumb stuff I've done.
Well, I'm fixing to admit to a bunch of it.
Oh, here we go.
Well, no, I'm fixing to start a series on this thing. And I'm going to start back just as far as I can remember. And I'm doing it. I'm not doing it for subs or anything. Really, I'm sort of doing it for me as much and my kid.
Yep.
But I'm going to start up and just all the crazy damn stuff I did and what I got by with without it killing me, you know. And
yeah, I thought you were going to do it. I thought you were going to start that right now on the live stream, and I was going to hit my mute button so my laughing wouldn't overtake.
No. And I imagine that's going to be pretty boring, some of it. But some of it will be funny as hell. And
yeah, Jay, that's about what I live with around here is widows, recluse, wolves, and the rare rattler. You got more fear from a mosquito where I live than anything else.
I'm gonna tell you what. Here we don't have many rattlesnakes right here in this area. I got a lot of copperheads, but now you can go 60 miles from here and hit some of that old limestone country that got all them shelves and holes back in there. You can find some dens up there that's just a ton of them.
Here's a neat little fact about rattlesnakes, Ron. Is you watch the movies and you hear the rattler, or it goes a little quicker, you know. That's not how they make the noise. It's like an animal hissing at you. The rattle goes so fast, it's from a bush you're walking by. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And I realized that was a rattlesnake shaking its rattle so hard it sounded like a hiss. They don't make a rattle like they do in the movies.
Well, you know, it depends. Now, you get them big rattlesnakes, and they'll go to buzzing, and you can hear them a long way.
Yeah. No, like that big rattlesnake, he rattled, but the little ones I ran across hiss.
Well, they might not have anything but a button. And, you know, there's something else that they're running across on rattlesnakes. Down around Corpus Christi and Padre Island, down in South Texas.
Yeah.
The feral have got so thick that it's just unreal. They're just everywhere. They're running crops down there. But they eat them rattlesnakes like popcorn now. They just walk up.
What animal is this?
Feral hog, you know, just a wild hog.
Yeah, I had a problem for those for years in Texas, I heard. They eat them like popcorn.
Huh? And it's bad. But what's happened, the snakes that are rattled them hogs can hear them, and they'll get them pretty quick. And they're getting a breed of rattlesnakes down there in South Texas now that do not rattle.
Oh my, that's scary.
Yeah,
Holy
there's a whole area down there that they don't rattle. They don't make any noise at all.
I almost lost one of my dogs to that rattlesnake that was coiled up in the bush on a walking trail out in Prineville. The one that hissed, I walked by it, and my dogs came by it, and it rattled and hissed, and I called my dog in a panic, and she was so scared the way I called her, she wouldn't move. And I'm like, "Ugh." Then I'm all, come on, baby, come on. I had to coax her to me before the snake bit her. I was so scared my dog was going to get bit that day because that snake was in a bush, literally a foot off the trail.
Yeah, KT, it is here too. You can kill them any way. You can take a stick of dynamite and kill them. I mean, they don't care how you kill them. Uh, I don't think you even got to have a hunting license anymore.
Redneck spiders, not here. You carry snake shot or bird shot with you for those if you run across one, but you usually don't unless you go out in the desert away from people on trails and stuff.
But you ever think about people riding four-wheelers side by side? You hardly
Oh, yeah.
ever hear of anybody getting bit riding a four-wheeler. But the reason is that rattlesnake strikes the heat, and that motor is so hot that if you're driving down a trail and that rattlesnake strikes, he gonna strike at that motor. He doesn't sense you. And I've seen used to have a deal in Florida they call a Ross Allen Institute, and it was one of the top serpentariums in the world. And that old boy put a show on, and he had cottonmouths and rattlesnakes and all kind of stuff out on this pad. He was walking around with them snake boots on, and then once in a while one of them rattlers might buzz at him or something, you'll call up, but none of them are trying to strike him or anything. He had them big old elk-eyed boots on. He took a balloon and blew that balloon up. Well, his breath was hot in that balloon, and he could stick that thing, get close to that rattlesnake, and pow! And it was funny. He'd take just a stick or something and poke that snake, and that snake wouldn't pay much attention to it. But the minute he felt that heat, he'd strike.
Wow. Well, that makes sense. You get bit on a quad easier than a side-by-side then because the motors are on the back on the side-by-side usually. Most of them. I had one with a motor right between you. It was a 650 something. But the motor, it was loud in that cab too. But yeah, so the motors are you sit on the motors on the quad, so they'd strike you on the leg probably going for the heat.
I've had one rattlesnake strike at a four-wheeler I was on, but he struck in front of me, in front of my leg,
Yeah.
and where the motor was. Of course, I wear boots all the time, and a decent pair of boots will stop 99% of your snake bites.
When I went riding, I liked wearing street bike boots because they were softer and you could move your ankles and do the brakes and shifters. Where the dirt bike boots, because I'm on a quad, you don't really need the dirt bike boots. We're so stiff you couldn't do the shifter and stuff right if you're running, riding around with the one with the clutch. So I learned to wear the street bike boots on those because they let you move your ankle.
Well, I was in the welding business, steel business, so you had to have steel-toed boots on. But
Yeah.
I don't even own a pair of low quarter. I mean, I've got Western boots that are dress boots, and I've got work boots. That's all I own.
You ever hear the controversy over steel-toed boots? They're great in the workplace and they work really well until that one beam gets dropped on them and the guy loses the front of his foot. I've heard of that happening.
Yep, I have too.
And they're great when it comes to light duty stuff that'll mess your foot up, but something heavy drops on them, it'll curl that steel toe over and take your toes off. Night, Linda.
Yeah, Linda,
Linda.
Thank you for coming in. No, that bullet is so fast that they can't do that, but they can go to. They're gonna look at whatever you poke out at them, and if you poke a pistol out at, and it's stuck out in front of everything else, that's what they're gonna be looking at. But they're not that fast.
Okay, Spirit. AT Spirit's in here. You got a great crew of people that come in here, Ron. I just got to say, you got every time I show up here, you just got such wonderful people in your chat. I know all the people from other chats, and they're such wonderful people.
You know, I was talking to Diane this afternoon, and I told her, I said, you know, I couldn't do this thing if it wasn't for the mods I have in here. You know, man, I got the best mods in the world. I'd be lost without it. And like
That's
Kenny and Diane, you know, they're Janice. Well, Cat's not in here tonight, but boy, they take good care of me. I really appreciate it too, and I don't say that enough. But
oh yeah, when you get good mods like that, you don't have to lift a finger. They're on it. They take care of it, and they're proud of it. You know what?
Well, I'm glad somebody loves me, but I sort of figure it's like in puppies and Dre's. I'm so ugly, I'm cute.
Oh yeah.
But no, we got a good bunch of folks. Ain't no
Yeah.
joke about that. And I didn't know how that would work really. When I started this mess, I had done one live.
I remember it, Ron.
Yeah, and when I did the first live, the first one up in here, well, me and Kenny was helping me, and I had two lives going at the same time and couldn't figure out how in the hell to shut them off. And Kenny couldn't figure it out either.
I was like, I had never seen anybody do that before. And I'm like, and it was two of the same ones going at the same time.
What was this? I'm confused. What was happening?
He had two of the same live streams.
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah.
Going at the same time.
Yep.
It was crazy. But Kenny helped me, and I got started on that. And I guess we've run one every night since then, haven't we, Kenny?
Yeah, we've been going. I've been with you since you started.
Yeah.
I don't think I've not missed, but maybe 2 or 3 out of the ones that you out of all the ones that you've done, maybe.
I think I've missed 3 since it started. And I was looking the other day, and I think I've got 193 lives, something like that. And,
yeah, you don't miss them often.
No, it just it don't. But and there's a lot of people that seem like, surprisingly, I didn't know how it worked. I didn't figure there'd be 5 people in here, you know. I think the only thing they come in here for is just because I was a smart ass for a while.
Yeah, Bernays got a good question for you. 193 ago.
Do what now?
No, Bernays said, when did you start?
Oh, I don't know. I went back and looked and just counted them. And that's not counting my regular videos. That's just counting the live streams.
Doesn't seem like it was that long ago either, does it?
No, it don't. But you can look back. I counted them up to 150 or something. Then I started numbering them. And
I remember you showing up in lives, and you just sit there and not say much half the time unless you had something to say. You know, you were you'd show up and you were so polite in everybody else's lives, and you just sit there and listen and join in once in a while, and next thing you know, you're running your own. And I'm like, well, how cool is this?
Well, I'm surprised it is done this well. But the people in the chat and the people that come up on the lives is what helps all that.
It's a lot of fun.
Janice got the answer to it. So they don't never know what the hell I'm gonna say next.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, you'll enjoy this other stuff that's coming up, Jay. There'll be a lot of stories on that deal.
And
Yeah.
I've also watched all his other videos and stuff, but I've left comments on all the videos out there that he's put out there before he even started these lives.
Yeah, see, Kenny, I didn't even know he had a channel short of the lives. I'm going to have to go play catch up now. Now I feel like an absolute heel for not knowing he was putting out regular videos also. I thought he was just doing the lives.
No, I'm fixing to start putting a bunch of them out, but
Yeah, Janice.
well, that's
You have to
really
go some of your videos there, Ron, and check them out.
what got me going about just the one-liner sometimes is I just pop off something in a room, especially in Paula's room.
Yeah.
I got Paula's hilarious, and I could get away with her. She wouldn't know what to say sometimes.
She's a hoot.
Hello, Roy.
Hey, Roy.
Yeah, she's
Roy,
cool.
Roy got some new equipment for his solar today. He was so happy. He got home with the box, opened it, and sent me pictures.
You want to laugh your butt off. I'm sure somebody's got the link to it, but they come up with a deal from the state in Canada about how to be safe during COVID, about how to have safe sex in COVID. And there were 3 videos on that, one of them on DJ's channel and the other 2 on Paula's channel. That was the funniest damn videos I've ever seen in my life. I
There's
mean,
a lot of funny stuff on that.
oh Lord. I mean, did you ever see them, Kenny?
I don't know if I did or not. To be honest with you, I've watched so much YouTube. It's hard for me to keep up with what I have watched and what I haven't watched.
Well, yeah, Janice, I think that's why me and you always got along, because you're about as much of a smart ass as I am. Yeah, but I wanted to do 2 things on this live chat. One, I wanted it to be fun. I wanted to see people laugh and cut up and go on, And the second thing was that I didn't want it structured. This is not a movie. I wanted it. I enjoy people and their personalities, and that's what makes this room to me.
Yeah, it makes it flow.
Everybody got a different personality. There you go. It sometime come back and you see where Diane put that address up. You ought to save that address and go back and look at that video. That's the start of it. Well, that's the way I am, Janice. My mouth works faster than my brain does sometimes.
I'm funniest when my brain is in neutral.
Yeah.
Just out of the mouths of babes. Did I just say that? I think I did out loud. Oops.
But we've had a good time. Paula's really the one that come up with the name on this channel. I was on. She come in here one night, and when I first started doing the lives, and she said, "You need to name that thing Trouble with Ron," and I started it, and that's what I've run with so far.
I like it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who you were, KT.
Yeah, Ron's got this little box when you come in the door here. We've got some Depends over on one side and some masks on the other, just in case.
You go back on some of those channels, or on my channel, you'll see I had a little Yorkie that ride on a motorcycle with me all over the country.
Oh yeah.
I had one in years, and he rode behind me everywhere I went. I haven't got
think
this
I've
one
seen
going
those.
yet.
I thought that was great. Yeah, when I had good internet and I was a moderator in a lot of channels, I was moderating somewhere between 50 and 100 channels. Somebody new'd pop in and I'd immediately go to their channel and make sure they weren't a troll. I'd literally take their name, go check them out real quick, come back and say, okay, they're all right. I was actually that vigilant with protecting the channels that I was in because I was really into moderating.
Well, Janice and Diane, Kat, Barry Dust, you got a hammer. I mean, you've got a range, don't you?
There's Outdoors Adventures with Ron.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now I understand what the eyes are for, but I don't get the comma. Them's lurking, but the comma part I don't get.
Well, if you watch that one I'm talking about on D-Day's channel, well, holler back, and I think Janice has got them other two set up. It's a 3 video deal, and if your cheeks are not hurting from laughing so damn hard, something's wrong with you. Yeah. That's the reason I started numbering the live streams, because you get a crazy one on here once in a while, to where everybody's. It's like that night with Bernie, wasn't it, Kenny?
You talking about with Ernie?
Yeah.
You talking about with semi-scratching Ernie? Oh, Lord. I had never seen somebody that would crack up at some of the and all he said, what was it you said, Rod?
Well, what the deal was, Angie was the one that started it. She said something about getting rid of a body, and I said, well, I'll come down there and help you get rid of a body. And she said, oh, you don't have to do that. So we'll just throw them off in the swamp, and the alligators will take care of them. She said, you got to take their clothes off because the alligators won't eat the clothes. I'm sitting there thinking, I said, I think that's going to be a new pickup line for me. I'm going to say, hey, baby, there's an alligator. You want to get naked? And Ernie lost it. Oh,
but I want you to take your clothes off first.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, guys. I gotta get me something to drink.
That was when he lost it. I mean, that was all she wrote there.
Yeah, Jay, you go back and look at that link Janet dropped. That will be one of the funniest videos you ever seen in your life. You ever watch these videos that it's a James Brown song that I Feel Good? Would you ever watch any of those where they turn the speaker up just full blast and set it beside somebody?
I've heard that song before, but
You want to have a good laugh. I got Diane doing this today. I don't know how many she watched, but I give her the address to them. But just type in "I feel good prank," and
I feel good prank.
yeah, prank.
Yeah, PRANK.
Yeah, just and there'll be a whole bunch of them come up,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them are hilarious, man. They it just, if you want to laugh for a while, just put that in there and just go to watching them.
Oh, Diane said she almost wet the bed from laughing. for so hard.
They, I got her started doing that, and she was laughing so hard she couldn't even type.
But
If
yeah, I'm thinking,
there's some funny stuff on some of that.
yeah.
They but those are, there must be 50 of them on there. I'll sit there and get started watching them.
And
then there's another one called
another one called what now?
Bushman.
Bushman.
And it's a guy. He's sitting down in a pot, like a big flower pot,
Yeah,
and he's got one of these ghillie suits on that look like leaves, you know.
yeah.
And somebody will come and walk right up beside him, and he'll stand up in that pot, and God Almighty, people will be doing all kind of things. You sit there and just, people are funny.
He'll scare people half out of their skin, won't he?
Oh, yeah. And some of them just take off running. I mean, just leave. I was getting a kick out of giving Diane a hard time about that.
Is that your dog barking, Walt?
Do what?
Is that your dog barking?
Yeah, he's outside. He's wanting back in. Oh, me.
What happened to Troy?
I don't know. He might have. I don't know. They, dang, this has been a fast night. You see how long we've been on here?
Yeah, it's hard to believe. But as I always say, time flies when you're having fun.
Yep. Yeah, you need to watch some of those fairy dust. Just put in there, I feel good and prank, and you will you'll have you some laughs.
It's a hey, cat.
Hey, hello, cat.
Janice caught it. I said, I'll be right back. I got to get something to drink because I had dry mouth. And that turned into rinsing out the cups so I didn't have dirty more. Then it turned out to getting ice in them. Then a nerve unpinched on my back and I had to use the bathroom, which meant I had to wash my hands. So I'm in there washing my hands when I hear, what happened to Troy?
Yeah, here's another one that I told them a while ago, Cat, I had the best mods in the world. And Cat's another one, boy. She will get on them trolls in a heartbeat.
Oh, she's like a snake on a, yeah, I don't have the right phrase. She's like
right
on a marshmallow.
That I think they have a contest on who can get the first one.
Yeah, the troll whacking competition. They're good at, those women are good at that.
They got to hustle pretty good to beat Kenny. I'm getting where I can spot them, but they get off and get rid of them.
Yeah, Kenny's good. It's hard to beat Kenny, but not impossible.
Yeah, Kenny quick. He gets that bird dog look on his face. He'll be leaning forward and he's concentrating, boy.
Yeah, it's like he'll be on one screen and just reach over and tap another screen because he knows there's a troll there. He just knows. So Kenny, can I ask how? I remember you started your live streams, and I was one of the first people in there. I think in your first, your second or third live stream, I hopped in there, as I recall. That was a long time ago.
I believe so. Yeah. In actuality, I think it was. In actuality, about 3 years ago. About 3 years ago, in July was when I very first put out my very first, and I think it was like a really short live that I put out my.
I know it was in the first few weeks you started. I found you. I was you were in the RV DJ, and she had just started recently too. And then I followed you back home and started hanging out with you.
I think everybody knows Kenny.
Oh yeah. Kenny's always been that great gentleman when he comes into a live stream. He's always been one of those incredible people.
Well, Kenny's a little bit different. We're having to educate Kenny and get him ready for this cruise he's going on.
I think Rosie's doing a good job of the educating along with your help there, Ron.
Yeah. I think Kenny used to be pretty bashful, and he ain't no more. All you used to hear out of Kenny was, I'm in the wrong chat. Now he said, I'm in the right chat.
Well, if we can teach Kenny to smell what duct tape smells like a mile off, he'll know how to avoid them hot-looking women that aren't women on the cruise. They use duct tape in all kinds of places we don't want to talk about.
Well, yeah, I want to hear the stories that he tells when he gets back. I want to hear the stories that the other people watching Kenny tell when he gets back.
You too? You and me both.
Ro, what you been up to? Oh, he got you rolling tonight, kicking?
Have a good one.
Roy gave me a call earlier today, and I tell you what, he's been busy with his car and all kinds of stuff. He was telling me about a trip he took down a road and hit a rock, and the exhaust darn near fell off the car, so he had to go work on that and all kinds of stuff. He's been really busy.
Have a good one, Scott.
Yeah. Your cat already gone?
It's complicated.
Jay, that's one thing. We don't put up with any drama in this thing. It ain't gonna happen in this room. I will not. That's one thing I won't put up with. That messes the room up faster than anything I ever saw.
Mm-hmm.
I agree there, Ron. I'm the same way on when I do my live streams. I don't like drama, and I like mine drama free and family friendly, and
There you go, Ron. You asked Roy what he's up to. I started to tell the story about what he was telling me earlier. He's telling you where his exhaust is now.
Good. I tell you what, we have a good time in here, though. And that's the main thing. I see some of these other channels, and man, it's like a soap opera. And I don't have time for that. No,
yeah, you ought to drop a link for Roy and let him hop on up here and tell you that story himself. It was funny. He had me laughing.
Who's that?
Oh, Roy and Becky.
Oh,
yeah. You ought to bring him up.
We got about 10 minutes left. Is all we got.
All right.
We're gonna shut this one down.
Hey, Mike D's Vlogs.
Hey, hello, Mike.
I
You
agree with Jesus' comment.
go to Mike's channel, Kenny.
I'm not sure if I've connected with his channel or not.
He's got a channel, and he's got about 10 good-looking Filipino ladies on there, and he's the only guy on there. And he's got it working. And they good-looking women too, boy.
Gotta bring him in.
He just sits up there and smiles. Ain't that right, Mike?
Well, I will say that they are some beautiful. There are some beautiful Philippines out there. Yeah.
Well, I notice he don't let many guys up on the screen. You know. What do you mean? What? Barry does. Good night, William.
Good night, William.
Take care, William. I think that's a message I got from you. I'll check it here when I'm off the live stream, William.
Yeah, I tell you what, this has been the quickest night we've run in a long time. We're nearly at 2 hours.
Yeah, it seemed to go fast.
Yeah. Usually the first hour goes pretty fast.
See Roy's comment.
We're not quite yet, Barry does, but it won't be too long. I want to know what kind of rig you looked at. Yeah, I know you do, Mike. I'm just kidding you. Mike keeps everybody straight in there off them gals, and it's a nice room.
KT Spirit One. That's funny.
Well, Mike's sort of like we are in here. We cut up and we go on, and we sort of walk that fine line of having a good time, but not getting nasty about it, And that's why Mike's room is. Oh, me. I tell you what, I can't believe I slept as much as I have in the last damn week.
Verda says, "I tell you what, I'll come up on the panel tomorrow night." She says.
Okay, yeah, I want to hear what you're looking for and what you found.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She's fun to have up on panel.
I actually had the pleasure and honor to actually get to meet her in person back in
Quartzsite.
Quartzsite, and
Wow, you got 800 subs.
And I really enjoyed the time out there.
A lot of fun being around those people, isn't it, Kenny? Just an incredible time.
Well, I like the heat out there for one thing. It's a dry heat, whereas here we have humidity, and I don't, I'm not too fond of the type of heat we have here, but I like the heat out there though.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a dry heat. It's like half as bad when it's not humid.
So, yeah, what I do get?
Whoop, there I go wrong.
Uh-oh. It's the Kenny and Troy show.
Looks like we'll definitely be in Quartzsite in all season, maybe Marana. Okay.
Maybe Marana. What's Marana?
I would.
lot of weird glitches lately on YouTube and phones. Ron's here today and gone in a
But
second.
welcome back, Ron. What happened?
I guess my glue didn't hold on the seat of my britches or something.
They'll make a good glue one of these days.
Yeah. How far are you from Quartzsite, Troy?
I'm in Central Oregon, so I'm guessing. Oh, it'd be a bad guess.
I'm sorry. I was thinking you were close to that meetup, not the Oregon meetup.
Yeah, no, I'd have to go down through Vegas or down through California to get there.
Boy, there's getting to be meetups all over the country.
I know it. They're fun too. The smaller I found the smaller the meetup, the more quaint they are, the better they are. You know, when you get, between 50 and 100 people, they're great. When they get over 100 people, it's almost like going to a swap meet.
I'm gonna try to go to Quartzsite. Spend about a month this year.
Kathleen, thank you.
I hope I get to meet you in person one day, Ron.
Yeah, we'll get together. I guarantee you. Well, we will if you live through that cruise. I don't want Kenny. I want you to listen to this real careful now.
Okay.
This is serious, man. If you go to motorboating one of them gals up there, remember to come up for air. I don't want to hear you smothering yourself.
He's turning blue. Pull him back. Pull him back.
If your ears start turning red, that's all right. If your ears start turning blue, it's time to quit.
God, I'm starting to blush. These ladies are bragging about my spaghetti again. I don't like spaghetti. It really wasn't fair to call it spaghetti because it was more like an oh my God meat sauce, that I call spaghetti.
That's one thing I'll make here is I do spaghetti, but I've got a bad habit about adding Rotel tomatoes to that spaghetti sauce. They put a little bite in it.
You're spinning on my end.
Everybody ate well at 022. I got to try some of Tim's cooking. He was doing these little. I wasn't even sure if it was beef or pork. It was so tasty. My tongue was busy wrapped around my neck, choking me, trying to slap my brain. You know what I mean, Kenny? It tried slapping and it twisted like a snake. Tim's food is that good. Everybody that cooked there made incredible food. I got to say, nomads are some of the best cooks out there. People that like traveling.
Well, I fit right in on that. I don't like to cook, but I like to eat.
There you go. And there's always plenty for everybody at a meetup. People don't mess around. They make double what you need. That way everybody gets full.
Well, I tell you what, Kat, I like spicy food. Not too spicy, but I use a lot of Rotel in a lot of stuff I cook. I got to looking at something today. It's a pain going to a grocery store here, and I'm going to start checking on Amazon and just see how they compare to what Walmart or HEB prices are.
I tell you what, I do about a quarter of my shopping on Amazon, Ron, and it's incredible. You have to watch the deals because some people are overcharging. But for half the stuff I buy, it's comparable or a better deal than I can get at a store, and they ship it right to your door. I mean, I buy all kinds of, I could go through a laundry list of things I buy, and they accept food stamps for the people that use food stamps. Amazon will also accept those. So if you use your food stamps in a store, you can buy off Amazon the same way with a lot of the products.
No.
It's a really good deal.
I've been thinking about maybe trying that. I'm gonna do some pricing on it there and see how it works.
Yeah, I just bought I'm having to go to smoothies for my diet because of my health conditions. So, I bought the frozen berries at Food for Less, but then I come home and I couldn't find any protein powders or any smoothie mixes I like there. So I came home and went on Amazon, and a brand that I actually like that I've tried, they've got this 2.5 pounds of smoothie mix in there for, less than $20.
Yeah.
In fact, if you subscribe, if you go to the subscribe and save, they'll drop $40 off your first purchase, and you can go in and cancel it right after it arrives, and save 40% off So I was getting a $25 smoothie mix for $15.
Well, I'm sure I'm gonna start pricing a bunch of this stuff, and
keep an eye on the coupons, because there'll be a coupon that you can push the button for 5 to 20% off an item, and if you don't push that button, it won't take it off at the checkout. As you're looking at those, remember to look for a coupon button and push it as you're looking at the item, and it'll give you a better discount yet.
all right. I order a lot of parts and stuff off Amazon, and but I got to looking at that food, and I've let my canned goods get down a little bit, so I need to sort of stock up on some of them again, and that's a good way to do it.
So Roy said, I knew they had squeezable tomato paste, like sun-dried tomatoes in a tube, but I guess Roy found some sort of tomato sauce that was squeezable today. Calls it genius.
Yeah. But I'm going to try that. I know there was milk. I don't use a lot of milk, and even when I buy a quart, well, half the time it'll go bad, before I drink it. And a friend of mine gave me some milk powder. I ordered off Amazon, but it's whole milk. It's not 2% or anything.
Yeah.
And you can't tell the difference on it from regular milk.
No, the Gosner brand, their boxed milk tastes so good now you can't tell the difference. It's incredible. And that boxed milk used to be awful. Back when I was a kid, you almost couldn't drink the stuff. So Kathleen Klein says use an app called Honey for coupons. I've never heard of that one. I'm definitely going to try it. And Jay's Hush Puppy samples too.
Well, I tell you what,
wow.
The way fuel is, the closest big grocery store I've got is about 7, 8 miles away, and the next one is about 15 miles away. Well, that don't sound like much, but you get to running back and forth to the grocery store, the fuel makes a difference now.
Hey, Ron, I know this isn't a competition, but our first real grocery store is 40 miles, and our good one is 80 miles each way. So, yeah, Amazon has become a great place to do all those fill-ins, because I have Amazon Prime. It's supposed to be 1-day shipping. It shows up 5 days later because I'm in the middle of nowhere. I don't care how long it takes. But it's been amazing to have stuff dropped at your doorstep when we're talking 160-mile round trip to a grocery store.
I don't drink that much, Roy, but you got to have it for something. The other thing I'm going to do, my buddy here has got about 10 or 15 chickens, and at times of the year they might have 50 or 60 eggs that they're getting every 2 or 3 days. And I've been looking at that deal where they're liming them eggs to where they're taking lime and water and dropping them eggs in it, and they claim they'll stay for a year just on the cabinet.
Wow.
And that's all you have.
You mean lye, not lime, right?
Do what?
You're talking about lye?
No, lime.
Lime. Okay, I haven't heard of that one.
Hydrated lime.
Well, I had that same milk habit Roy, I actually got allergic to milk at some point where I couldn't drink large amounts of milk without getting really sick. I do a gallon a night, 5 nights a week. Now that I've backed off the milk, I can drink it again. It got to a point where I couldn't even drink milk. I got sick.
Yeah, I like that too, Perry does.
Yep.
My dad bought some milk Tuesday after he got out of the VA. We went to the store and bought some milk. He bought some at whole milk. Well, it's usually got a red label. A red label on it says whole milk on it, right?
Yep.
And we always check the date on it. Well, the date is good until the 24th. Well, he opened it today or yesterday because this is already a new day. So he opened it yesterday, and he was telling me that it tasted just like buttermilk. It tasted just like buttermilk.
That's
and he told me he looked at me and said, "I know you're not going to want that milk." And I said, "No, I ain't going to want it because I don't like buttermilk." And but yeah, so I don't know what happened. I told him, I said, I guess maybe the factory made it supposed to put maybe put buttermilk in there and then just put the wrong label on it or something. I don't know.
Who knows? Well, I tell you what, if I buy milk at the beginning of my shopping trip and it sits in my car too long, it cuts its shelf life in half and it'll start to taste like buttermilk right away. So maybe that gallon of milk got set off the side somewhere accidentally and didn't get put back in the cooler like it was supposed to, because it won't spoil, but it cuts its shelf life in half and it starts to take on a rancid buttermilk flavor to it if it sits out for hours and gets warm.
Well, my dad, he loves buttermilk, so that's right up his alley. So he'll have that whole gallon to himself.
Oh, I'm with Roy. It belongs in food, not a glass.
There you go. Yeah, I've had that same experience. That Walmart milk go bad quick.
Oh, I loved when they started switching the labels around and the red label was on 2% milk all of a sudden at where was that? It was Safeway or Walmart. One of them started putting the red label on 2% milk a while back. And it was real confusing because I grabbed the wrong milk and just saw the red label and came home with it and realized I'd bought the wrong milk.
Hello, Net Blog.
Hey, Net's Vlogs.
Yeah, appreciate you coming in. I don't. Buttermilk, the only time I want buttermilk is if I've had a stomach virus or something like that, or if it is super hot. Hello, Darren. How you doing?
Hey, Magnificent Germany with Darian.
Yeah, I was watching some of his videos the other day.
Who, Darian's?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an awesome friend and partner channel, and I've actually got to meet him 2 or 3 times already.
Didn't you do spaghetti ice with him?
Well, I've had some spaghetti ice too, and let me tell you, you take one bite, you are hooked. It will make your tongue slap your brain.
Good night, Spirit. Get that beauty sleep.
KT Spirit.
I just like regular milk cornbread, Cat.
I'll just take the cornbread. Yum.
I'll make a deal on that packaged cornbread. I do not like sweet cornbread. If I want to eat a muffin, I'll eat a muffin. If I want to eat cornbread, I want something that's salty. And
I agree.
I'll make a pan of it and eat a bunch of it with just butter on it. And then usually a pan of cornbread will last me one day. because then I'll crumble it up and drop it in regular milk and eat it.
Yeah. I like my cornbread when I make it. I sprinkle just a little bit of sugar in the mix if it's not pre-sweetened, and that's it. I don't even like tasting the sugar in it. It's just in there to barely sweeten it up. I hate the really sweet cornbread. It's almost like a dessert.
They I don't like the sugar in it. I like it the other way. But
I
that's
mean,
what
I could eat it, but I'd prefer not to. Just, but anyway,
ooh, honey butter. I hadn't thought about that in a long time.
but yeah, if you want to learn if you want to learn anything about Germany, Magnificent Germany with Darren is a good channel to check out because he can
Yeah,
tell you everything about Germany because he goes there 2 or 3 times a year.
I was able to catch him live about 2 weeks ago because I've been up all night and couldn't sleep. That was a nice treat.
Cat, you got to understand now. You talking to a damn old bachelor here, and it's easy to dump that package of cornbread mix. That's just right for me. You ladies put a pinch of this and a dab of that and a handful of this and cook all kind of stuff.
I used to buy those packages of that Jiffy stuff for the muffins and the cornbread all the time. And then I found out that there were damn bugs in it. It wasn't even expired yet, and there were bugs in it. So I quit buying those package box stuff because there were, I was like, okay, I'll just make it myself.
There's a brand here. It's something Martha, and it's good. It's good and fresh and sealed up good. And you just throw an egg in with it and 2/3 of a cup of water and mix it up and chunk it in a pan, and that's all it takes.
Yeah. And it's good. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, She Devil's here. I didn't see She Devil come in. Hello.
That's hard to beat. I tell you what, Fairy Dust is talking about honey butter. I hadn't even thought about that stuff, and I don't know how long, and I used to eat that stuff left and right. You might have to buy some of that.
Dad says something about y'all ought to try cornbread with spinach juice.
With what?
Spinach juice.
I bet it's one of those things that tastes
I
good.
have no idea. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Well, picture cornbread with some vegetable juice with vinegar in it, because canned spinach has a lot of vinegar in it, so probably be good.
Hello, She Devil. Yeah, that always amazes me. Now, there's 3 of us sitting up here talking, and there's several of them talking in the comments, and we got 20 people on here. You wonder who's just sitting there listening.
Yep.
I wish they had a way that you could tell who was in the room.
Well, now I will say this: he has, like I said before, some people call it pone cakes, some people call it Johnny cakes, and some people just call it cornbread, or but it's still what it is. Now I will say this: he has made cornbread with spinach inside of it, but I don't think I've ever heard of it with just the juice, without the with just the spinach. But
Okay,
but yeah.
I'll try that.
Yeah, it's just fried corn. It's just fried cornbread. That's all it is.
Be right back.
Pone cakes, pone. Yeah. I ain't going there.
Oh man. No comment. I tell you something my mom used to do. She'd make a big pan of mashed potatoes, and she could make mashed potatoes good for they had plenty of butter and stuff in it. Then she'd take whatever potatoes she had left, make patties out of it, and fry them.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's some home cooking there, boy.
potato cakes, yeah.
She'd put some more stuff in them. One time she got to doing that and had a can of red salmon, and she mixed that red salmon in with those mashed potatoes and then fried it. Ooh,
Oh, yum.
Oh,
I like salmon cakes now.
yeah. Well, mixed in with that mashed potatoes and then frying them, man, it was good. It had a little consistency for salmon.
Yeah. Yeah, in other words, it'll make your tongue slap your brain.
Yep. Make everything up everything.
So Kenny, this looks huge. Okay, it's not. Well, here's a lighter. Give you an idea how big the can is. We went shopping and we got this for you. So I'm going to call you and get your address, and we're going to send that off to you.
Okay.
Menuendo.
I think Christian pronounces it menudo. It's I think it's beef stomach is what the meat is in it. I could be wrong. It might be pork stomach, but I think it's beef stomach, and they dice it in little pieces and they cook it till it's gelatinous, and then put it in the soup.
Oh, you lost me on the sour cream, Cat.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm with you. I'm with you, Ron. I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of sour cream and chives. Nope. Mm-mm. It has to be. If I eat something like that, it has to be in something that I cannot taste the sour cream and I cannot taste the chives. But if it gets to where I taste it, you might as well go ahead and get a bucket. Because nope.
Still never heard of potato cakes. Oh no, you got to try them. They're hard to describe. You got to try potato cakes.
Yep, you can have all the sour cream and chives and all the ranch and all the ranch dressing and avocados you want. You all can have my share on that stuff.
I'll take your share. That's good stuff. Next, if you mix sour cream and avocado and stuff and chives together and a few other things, cheese, that makes a good dip.
The thought of that makes me want to.
Yeah, Kathleen says more for me. We'll share. We'll doctor it up and share it with everybody.
Now, oh,
yum. Jay's talking about potato cakes with snap peas. That sounds delicious.
I just sent you a text, Troy. I know you won't be able to get it until after the live, but
it just showed up. Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you too, baby.
I tell you what, you talking about them sugar snap peas, Diane? I think that little Yorkie I had, that was his favorite treat. We kept a bag of sugar snap peas in an outbox all the time. Man, he'd eat them things just dog like them.
Oh, I could imagine dipping potato cakes a little piece at a time in applesauce. Oh, yum.
Who you talking to, Jay?
Who, me?
Which link is that? Which link are you wanting, Jay?
Oh, that's Darren's channel. Okay.
He also not only has that channel, he has another channel called Whatever Floats My Boat with a Twist. And that is basically just like what the title is, whatever that channel he wants to keep Germany related, and anything else not Germany related he puts on that Whatever Floats My Boat with a Twist. And then he also, if you like daily devotionals and spiritual devotionals and things like that, he also has a channel called A Moment in the Word. So
You guys are talking about all those peas. I love the snow peas. You just peel the stringy part, you snap the top, you peel them down the side, and they're little flat peas.
Yeah.
They're really flat. I love those. I throw them in salads. I eat them raw. They're one of my favorites.
I tell you what, that you talking about ordering stuff from Amazon. Have you got any or anybody in the chat? Is there any what the hell they call them, frozen dinners or stuff like that that's worth a flip out there? You know, for just a quick meal.
Well, they make I forget the brand name on it, but they make one that comes in an oval tray that's shelf stable, and it's microwavable. And I can't remember which ones, but about 3/4 of those are pretty tasty. Quarter of them are like but they make beef stew, and they just come in a tray. You could throw some biscuits or some rolls with them with butter on them and make a meal out of it. I know you can get those. If anybody remembers what I'm talking about and the brand name on them, they're in a oval tray that's about 6 inches across.
When I start traveling, I'd like to find a couple deals that you could live with, you know.
Hormel, Snow Devil, or She Devil got it, Snow Devil.
Yeah. Okay, I'll check that.
Yeah, they're shelf stable. They don't have to be refrigerated or frozen. You just throw in a microwave, warm them up, and I think they're Hormel brand, and they're $3 or $4 a tray. But when they first came out, they were $1.69, but they caught on because they were good. I could imagine they're full of preservatives because they're shelf stable, but I'd try those. I like them.
Well, that's what I want to do in my camper, in this cab over I'm setting up.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have at least 2 weeks worth of food in that thing and keep it as small as I could. You know, like you have 2 meals a day out of it just for me. And, but, keep it light and everything if you could, just in case you got in a jam someplace and needed it,
Outdoor Adventures with Ron. Yeah, they do make some bags of rice that are pretty good that already have the moisture in them. You just got to heat them up. You could do it in boiling water if you don't have a microwave. Some of those rice bags with the rice already cooked in them are pretty good too for that.
Yeah, some of them are all right, Diane. Some of them are not worth a flip.
Yeah, Diane, I don't like the chemicals either.
Well,
there's these chemicals in a good prepper's pantry. There's some chemicals in it though.
Well, I like soup, like chicken noodle soup or something like that. I can make a meal off that.
I think they did some preppers did a thing on, I think it was, I could go get a can, but I think it was Hormel chili. You can ignore the expiration date on it. It's good for 10 years on a shelf easily, sometimes 20. The color might change a little bit. The flavor might change a little bit, but it's so full of preservatives, you could eat it 20 years after it expires.
Well, I've got
a shelf full of that in there with the chili without the beans. I'll just soak some beans and add that to it and make my own chili if I want, if I'm being lazy.
In actuality, I actually learned from Darian that, and a few other Germany channels that I follow as well, that in the country Germany, it is actually illegal to have preservatives in your food over there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, mountain house meals are good.
in Europe, they thought tomatoes were poison for a long time. That was a poison fruit.
Well, improperly you can get botulism off of them pretty easily. People don't know what they're doing.
The mountain house meals, I've tried some of them, and I wasn't impressed with any of them. They, maybe I just didn't get the right one.
They're
And
about
MREs, you can throw them damn things in the trash.
about a third of the mountain house meals are just nothing to write home about, but over half of them are just, wow, I can't believe this came out of a bag. It's so good. On some of those mountain house meals for freeze dried food, I was very impressed. And it was actually one of the better brands.
I got and of course I got some of that pemmican that I made. That stuff is amazing.
What is this?
Pemmican? It's the way the Indians used to keep their meat.
Okay.
They'd make jerky out of it.
Yeah.
And they'd pound it. They'd powder it, and then fruits and berries and stuff like that, and put in it, and pour beef tallow over it, and let it harden and cut it up. And
I
you
bet that's
got a
tasty.
high energy bar, man. You can eat one little bar about that long, about that thick, and it'll fill you up for a day.
Sounds really healthy, and I bet it's tasty too.
Yeah, it's not, and especially if you put the right kind of berries in it. And yeah, I don't like MREs. They
MREs have come a long ways. They used to be god awful.
they wasn't as bad as them damn sea rations though. I'm telling my age now, but the MREs came out while I was in the service, and we were still getting sea rations over there when we were out in the bay. Well, they were good. They call them lurks over there. The first ones that got started was if you were running outside patrols where you were out several days. They had they call them long range recon uh, meals, and they were good compared to the sea rations. But the MREs now, I don't know. I just don't care for them.
Well, Cat, I like cooking fresh with everything, but I'm worse than Kenny. Then when it comes to a taste test, I'll put almost anything in my mouth. If I don't like it, out it comes. But I like trying and experiencing everything. But cooking fresh is always my preference.
Well, in this camper, I mean, it may sound like it's sort of crazy, but that thing is sort of my escape pod. To where if you had to move quick and hard, well, you could do it, or stay traveling. If you want to get out there and stay 14 days, and you found a place that the next store was 100 miles away, well, you'd have enough food you could get by.
Now, here's one for you for the camper. You got a fridge in there, so you got a freezer. They sell Rayburns is the brand name, and they sell a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. It's nothing to write home about. It's just some roast beef with some cheese on top. But I tell you what, we got 2 flats on a travel trailer coming home from a camping trip. We were stranded on the side of the road. We were able to take these frozen sandwiches out, wrap them in foil, stick them in the oven in the RV, and they were delicious. If you can doctor them up a little bit with some extra cheese or something on them, or some sauteed onions, they're absolutely superb for a frozen sandwich. But that's also a good standby. If you can get a few of those and throw them in the freezer. They saved our butts that night for having dinner because we had those in the camper, because we were coming back from a camping trip and had almost nothing left in the RV, trying to go camping light, and those sandwiches saved our butts. We actually had a warm dinner where we wouldn't have if they hadn't been in there, and I was shocked that we could wrap them in foil and heat them in the oven.
Well, I'm fixing to do something else. I've got a hunting trip coming up for a couple months. I've always heard, Rocky. I've always heard that axis deer was supposed to be some of the best wild meat you could eat. And anyway, I got an axis hunt set up, and I think I'm gonna probably going to cut a few steaks out of that, but mainly I'm going to jerk it, I think. I'm going to try to get me 30, 40 pounds of jerky made up again. I make some good jerky.
And here's a good one to take on the road with you. And Kathleen will know about this: the Old Cowboy Biscuits, where it's you make the biscuits and they literally are full of shortening, and they're shelf stable. You can make them, throw them in a baggie, and keep them in a refrigerator in an RV for weeks, and just pull out some, throw them on a pan, cook them in your oven, and have fresh biscuits. You can make them at home and literally keep them in your camper for like your fridge for up to a month. The old-fashioned style biscuits.
I've been looking at a bunch
Not mayonnaise in Germany with Darien.
These two component breads that they've got out now. You know, where it's just flour and I think one is flour and Coke, I think. But they've got some of those breads you don't have to have any yeast or it doesn't rise or anything. You know, you don't have to knead it, but it's basically just a couple ingredients in it. When we had that freeze down here, everything was locked down for about 2 weeks, and I had everything I needed, except I ran out of bread. And I'm a big bread eater. So I went and bought me a bread maker. I do that every once in a while.
Those are neat. I like the bread machines. The first thing I learned with bread machines and making certain things like your own whipped topping out of cream is elevation affects it. I'm up here at 5,000 foot. You have to adjust your recipes on some of these things for like the bread machines, and you cannot make whipped topping under certain atmospheric pressures. Under certain atmospheric pressure at 5,000 foot, it is impossible to turn heavy cream into whipped topping. I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. So I did my research and I found out it was my elevation and my atmospheric pressure was literally keeping me from making whipped topping.
Have you ever tried to cook a pot of beans up at 9,000 feet?
No, I've not tried cooking that high.
Well, you can boil them damn beans for 3 days and they'll still be hard as a rock.
I can imagine.
Drop down to 3,000 foot and they'd be fine. I'm gonna come see you, Jay. That's something I do want to kill. I want to kill a bear. I never have hunted them before.
Renee's got it down: string cheese, crackers, fruits, and pecans.
I've actually been wanting to try some bear meat.
Now, Kenny, watch what you're saying and think about what you're saying before you go any further.
I know what you're thinking, Ron.
You know what I'm thinking.
I'm talking about like BEAR.
I just caught what you were saying, Ron. Oh my. Oh my.
Now go ahead, Kenny. What were you fixing to say now?
I've heard that bear meat
Woo!
is
Yeah.
it is gamey. That's what I've always heard, though.
Oh, on the note of what Ron's saying, the cub meat is more gamey, but bump.
Oh my goodness. I've tried it before, Kenny, and I don't like it. It's real greasy. There's a lot of it just, I don't know. And bear meat is just not one thing. And I told you why I wanted to kill a bear. Didn't I, Kenny?
I'm not sure if you did or not.
I want to kill a bear and get me a rug made out of it.
Okay, I'll make a bear skin rug.
Yeah. I always, before I croak, I want to make love on a bearskin rug in front of a fireplace.
Yeah, Kathleen, I think I was sleeping.
Yeah. Well, what I figure on a bearskin rug, they got them claws they leave on that rug, and the thing got too tame, and and wasn't no action taking place. You just flip them claws up and rolling around on that claw, something had happened.
Be more than motorboating going on.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
And also, I've never tried bear meat either. That's on my list.
And that also sounds painful, Ron, and rough.
Now, hold on, Jay. Wait a minute. I've learned that oils and smoked beef is a really bad thing. That you want to get rid of all the fat in beef when you smoke it, and smoke the leanest piece of meat you can. But you're saying to smoke bear meat because it's so greasy, it turns out much better. That's confusing to me. And in Stranger Things, it probably works, but I'll have to remember that if I ever get any bear meat, I'll have to smoke some of it.
Well, that is one hunt I want to make. So, seriously, I'm going to take a bear. It's one animal I never have taken. Taken elk, deer, javelina, taken just about anything that walks with a bow.
There's something special about running your fingers through a bearskin rug. I can say that. They are really neat rugs.
And I don't hardly hunt with a gun anymore. Or haven't in years.
Read Kathleen's comment.
Yeah. Kathleen, I like it where I can dig my toes in too, and it's hard to wear spurs barefooted.
Dad says that bearskin rug ain't what it's all turned out to be anyway.
How come?
He says it's too rough.
Too rough?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. He talking about the bearskin too rough or something else is too rough?
The bearskin.
Damn, he got the wrong side up, man. You got to put the fur side up.
He says them teeth hurt.
Yeah, never mind. I ain't going there. Oh,
God, damn. I love the people in chat.
He says them claws don't help either.
Well, them claws make things get a little action if you need to.
Between the spurs and the bear claws, Ron, I'm not sure if you could handle that action. Get what you asked for, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, boy, I couldn't. Never mind. No comment.
No comment, Bernay. So, Kathleen, yes, I love smoked salmon, and the name rolled off. I'm so brain dead right now. I'm so tired. And yeah, I'll remember to smoke it slow and low like I do most of my foods on the bear meat if I ever smoke it.
Now, Barry does, you know good and well, there was plenty of pun intended. What's wrong, Jay? You got to watch this crowd. They ain't no
It's
telling.
probably a good thing I don't have coffee in my mouth right now because I'd probably be spewing it out everywhere.
Yeah. Be putting it on the back of your glasses. That was funny. You wasn't in here that night, were you, Troy?
Which night?
I caught Kenny with a mouthful of coffee and said something. And he had coffee running out of his damn nose and everything else. He spit coffee so damn far he had it on the back of his glasses.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm a lurker sometimes. When I get so tired, I can't even see my phone with glasses on to chat. I'll put it on the big screen and just watch and not even come into chat sometimes. So, you know, when I'm really tired, that's what I do for my entertainment. Just watch the live streams without saying a word.
Another thing, too, I think it was that time, that was not long after you had hurt them ribs, wasn't it?
Do what now?
when you hurt them ribs,
Oh, yeah.
it wasn't long after that.
Yep.
It wasn't that long after you hurt them ribs. That's when you did that, wasn't
Yeah,
I think I was watching that night, to be honest.
you butthole.
it?
I like Janice's comment on the bunny. It's I remember that joke about the bear asking the rabbit if poop sticks to his fur, and the rabbit guys goes, "Why, no, Mr. Bear, it doesn't." And he grabs the rabbit and wipes his ass with it.
You have 2 bear skins or 2 fireplaces, cat?
Mhm. Oh God, Jay. I love your crowd in here, Ron. They are great.
Yeah, that would probably be right, Jay.
Mm.
Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. What we talk about in this room.
We just went from bearskin rugs to professional cleaning.
Well, we done just damn near hitting 3 hours.
Oh wow.
You might as well make it in even 3 hours, Rod.
Mm.
You're this close.
Listen, Kenny.
I know
You
you,
know,
don't have any content on your channel, Jay, but I just connected to your channel anyway, in case you decide one day you decide to create content. So
Yeah, you can't keep me down too long, Cat. I don't care if I feel good or not. I can't just lay around.
I'm getting a good pour down rain, and it also sounds like I'm hearing thunder in the distance.
That wind here a while.
I know I'm getting a rain for sure.
Yeah. No, Lord. Temperature dropped too.
Cat, I think my temperature is finally broke and fever finally broke. Hush.
But
I'm sorry, Ron. I didn't know you were under the weather. I'm
Oh,
glad you're feeling better.
oh yeah, I'm feeling better. I tested positive for that bug.
Oh geez.
So
Well, by the looks of you got one of the weak ones, so that's a good thing.
yeah. Well, this is about the second. This is a third go round on this.
Really?
Yeah, I got that bug before, way back in January of last year, and the people don't realize that. Most people in the chat know this, but the name on my channel is not my name. I've got a friend of mine. If you go back and watch my videos, I've got a friend of mine that I hunt and fish with and cook and that kind of stuff. And hunt and fishing buddy.
Yeah.
And I tried to find a name that we could put both names in on, and I couldn't find a name. So finally, I come up with the Ron Darrell, and Ron's me and Darrell's my buddy. But it just stuck. The name stuck, and everybody thought my name was Ron Darrell.
I did till this moment too.
I got tired of explaining about it, so I just forget about it. I answered to
That's funny. Now that's a neat piece of trivia there.
But he's in some of my earlier videos. He been.
The voice has spoken.
What is the matter with you? Get back. This dog is crazy.
what's he wanting, a treat or something?
No, he's just full of I opened the door and let him back in, and he ran from one end of this trailer to the other, up on the bed, back down off the bed, up under the table, just running full blast.
Well, they say that dogs match their owners' personalities. If you're a little younger, you'd probably do the same thing.
Not with this bad knee, I wouldn't.
No.
I'd take my steps and lay down. Yeah, I got in trouble last night in hush.
He sounds like he's full of energy.
I got in trouble in here last night. All right, didn't get in trouble the other day, but my daughter's been coming in here every once in a while. Well, she watched the replay of last night. She called me today and chewed me out big time because I hadn't told her I was sick and broke them ribs and blew that knee out and all that mess. I got spoke to over that.
You probably deserved it. That's what's going on. They worry about the people they love, you know?
Yeah. Well, all my life, and especially the last 15 years, I've taken care of myself or taken care of other people and me. And I'm not used to explaining to people about it, And so, yeah, it was funny.
I get that. I've been pretty self-sufficient. I get sick, I don't even go to a doctor most of the time.
Oh, I got to be plenty sick before I go to a doctor.
Yeah, I got to be in my deathbed and have to be, to the point where I couldn't drive myself before I'd go.
Boy, I tell you what, I get a whole lot of criticism from these ladies in here. You read all this stuff, Fairy Dust, Busted, Janice Maj, good for her. I hope she ripped you a new one. Cat, like deserved it. I don't have to get married. I can come in here and just catch all the hell I want to catch.
And more.
I guess I got 15 surrogate wives. One of them don't want to chew on me, the other one does.
That's right, Cat. And them cowboys out there. If the bone's sticking out, just put it back inside the skin. I'll be fine. Yeah. Right?
I was walking down through my shop one day, and we had a sheet metal shear in there that was 8 foot long. And when you shear stainless steel, it always comes out sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Just like a razor. Well, we cut some wedges were about 4 or 5 inches on one end, and they were a triangle about 3 foot long and come down to a needle point. And I was walking through the shop one day, and I had a bunch of them in a box there that we were going to do something with. And I come walking through that thing, and somebody moved that box, and I hit that box. And when I did, that damn piece of stainless steel went through the front of my leg, out through the calf and the muscle, and had the skin just poked out in the back. Well, this thing's about 3-4 foot long. Well, something sticks you. The first thing that you've got a tendency to do is kick. Well, I kicked, and that thing is, and I reached down and just got hold of it and jerked it out of my leg. And my dad was there. He said, "You better go to the doctor." I said, "What for?" I've had tetanus shot. But about 3 o'clock that next morning, well, I was thinking maybe I should have went to a doctor.
Yeah.
But you just didn't do it. I've done some stupid stuff.
Oh, I did that with flash burns. I figured no big deal. You know what those are in welding. And, around 2 in the morning, I thought somebody had thrown a handful of sand in my face, and I really wished I had something to numb my eyes then.
And I've had them burn a couple of times, pretty bad.
Yeah, I damn near wrinkle up your eyes. It's like somebody threw sand in your face, and your eyes were held open when you did it. Flash burns, they're bad.
I found a cure for that. you could go to a doctor, you go to emergency room, and they give you a little.
Yeah, it's raining big time.
Oh, okay. But they'd give you a tube of deadening to put in your eyes.
Yep.
Well, that deadening, what it is your eyeball gets blisters on it,
Woo!
and
Yeah.
when you move, well, it's just like sandpaper on your eyelids.
Yep. Been there.
But if you use that cream, then you don't feel it rubbing. So you go ahead and move your eye around, and you just lacerate the hell out of your eyelids. So your eyes will be sore for 4 or 5 days. And what I found out was that you could get a pan of water and throw you a couple trays of ice in it, and get you a wet rag and just saturate it in that ice water and put it on your eyes. And just within 30 seconds, it'll be hot.
Wow.
And you can start doing that for maybe 30, 40 minutes, and it'll pull that soreness out and make them blisters go down on your eye, and your eye's not sore the next morning.
I wish I'd known that in my 20s. Tell you what. I was really young when I did that and stupid, a bunch of tack welding, a whole project without a hood, and just looking at it all day long, tack welding without a shield. I was stupid.
Oh, Lord.
Oh yeah. I learned not to do that again.
Well, I'm pretty lucky. I did that for 50 years, and just every day, and pipe welded and aluminum and stainless, and still can get along without a pair of glasses except reading. So I guess I took pretty good care of it.
Y'all hear that rain?
No, I can't hear it.
Y'all can't hear it?
Is it like a cow peeing off a 20-foot?
Oh, it's a coming a gully washer and a half.
Hey, Sunfish and Diana.
Hey, Sunfish.
And Diana, Kathleen, we love it when you guys whine and make a big deal over us because it don't normally happen.
But now, I tell you what, I guess I'm different on that. I take
just with the loved ones. Just with the loved ones. Makes you feel special.
When I get sick, I don't want nobody messing with me. I want to go find a bed and I want to sleep. And I'll get up maybe every 3 or 4 hours for 30 minutes or 20 minutes, or depending on how sick I am, and go back in there and go back to sleep. I don't even want to mess with anybody.
Oh, I caught something like COVID about a year before it came out, and I tell you what, I thought I was going to die. I just laid there in bed and I couldn't even drink water. I tried. I loosened the lid on the water and set it on the nightstand, and I reached over in bed and I tried to get that water. And I fumbled and I fumbled. I knocked it over and I just rolled back over in bed and said, "Okay, if this is the moment, take me." I couldn't even get out of bed and pick up the water as I heard it go glug 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 on the ground. That's how bad I was. I couldn't even pick up. Couldn't get the water in my hand to drink it, much less get up, pick it up to get it off the floor as it's just spilling all over the carpet.
Well, I got that stuff not this past January, but January a year ago. And my buddy Daryl got it first. And just for 2 or 3 days, you run real high fever, 103, 104. And like I say, you just so damn weak you couldn't hardly stand up.
Yep, so weak. I couldn't even pick up a bottle of water on my nightstand and drink it. I knocked it over.
And not want to eat. Just, I think I went for 4 or 5 days without eating hardly anything.
I didn't eat for 3 days. I just laid in bed and waited for death. I was just like, if this is it, take me. And I was single at that point. I wasn't with nobody, so I was at home alone, and I just laid there and waited to die. Got lucky though. My fever was just like 1.5 points over normal, less than 2 points over normal. My fever was like 100, 105. That was it. And I turned pale gray. I looked like death warmed over my skin. I went gray. It was weird.
She Devil, I appreciate you coming in. You come back, girl.
Yep, it's coming big time, people.
Yep.
I tell you what, I guess I'm lucky. Daryl, I lease a place from Daryl to park my trailer, and I'm pretty good ways. I can't see his house and he can't see me. But his wife has sort of, they're like younger than I am. His wife has adopted me. And if I go someplace and don't tell her that I'm gone, or if I get sick or something, she don't see me for a day or two, oh, she's all over me. She's worse than that. I always tell her I don't have to get married again. Putting up with her is bad enough. But they take good care of me. They're good friends to me.
Hey.
And it's good that you got somebody who checks on you, you know.
Yeah, that's thunder, Jay. I'm getting a storm big time, and I don't do very well with thunder. I really don't.
I don't even want the whiskey sunfish. I just want sleep.
I used to
Because
do that when I was younger. I get sick and just
really,
some whiskey.
it really, it doesn't, it's, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, you know, Rocky is not scared of lightning and thunder. Now, that catfish, that other dog I had, he would freak out if it started lightning.
Oh, thunder, lightning, fireworks, shotguns. Now, I tell you what's really strange. I can stand like loud mufflers, like straight pipe, cherry bombs, things like that. But when it comes to like thunder, fireworks, shotguns, might as well forget it. I'm ready to go. Like bury myself 6 feet under where I can't hear it.
The fairy dust today or yesterday, I took and made a big old pot of potato soup. That's what I've been eating today.
So if you see me grab my ears, you'll know what I'm.
Oh, I thought you were just dreaming about motorboating.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
I just can't. I just it's a.
I tell you what, it's funny what bothers you. Now, I don't like fireworks. Yeah. And Kenny Freeze, they done knocked him offline.
It must have been that motorboat comment.
Yeah. Or that lightning got him.
Yeah, Jay, that's funny. That's what my mom used to do as a kid. She'd make popcorn, and we'd go out by the front door with a covered porch and eat popcorn and watch the thunder and lightning and stuff. She tried to make it fun when a storm would come by.
Isn't that funny what you remember?
It is. Those were good times. You know, thunderstorm would roll through, and mom would make buttered popcorn, a big old bowl of it. We'd sit on the front porch with a blanket, covered up to where the rain wasn't on us, because we had a good covered front porch, and just sit there and watch it.
Well, you know, everybody used to have a porch because, like weather like we've had for the last few weeks, you didn't want to go in that house and you'd burn up in that house. So everybody get on the back porch. I had an old guy that was one of them was a preacher, and he one of them hellfire and brimstone preachers, and he was talking about when TVs first come out that that's going to be the end of the world about, you know. But and he was right in a way. And I had another man tell me that said the second thing that really hit a lick to the family unit in the United States was air conditioning. And if you think about it, before they come up with air conditioning and TV, people come in, they didn't stay in the house at night. You know, summertime they were out in the front yard cutting watermelons or
Yep.
making ice cream and doing all that kind of stuff.
Things have changed. Every generation changes a little bit more to where it's what you and I might have enjoyed as younger people to what they do now. And
Oh,
each generation is appalled a little bit by what they see going on, and it's just how the world's being shaped. You can't stop it.
I'm with you, Sunfish. I've been there and done that. Though I tell you one that the worst one now is the damn telephone. We were talking about the other day. There were like 8 or 9 people, a family from little kids on up to grandma and grandpa, walked in Red Lobster where I was eating one night,
All of
and
them on the phone.
all of them walked in. They ordered, and then everybody pulled the phone out and started playing with the phone. And when they got their food, they were still phone beside the plate. They were still sitting there texting on the phone, looking at it. And I guarantee them 8 people, 8 or 9 people ate, and they didn't say 3 words the whole damn time. I
It's
mean,
not how it was when we grew up. You sit at that table and you talk about the day.
yeah. Well, and I've got some friends right now and my daughter does this. Uh, when you come to the dinner table, them phones get turned off and stacked in a corner. You don't care. You don't bring a phone to the dinner table.
I have friends that are still that way. When I go to visit them and dinner time comes, you don't even answer a phone call.
Mm. And but that's pathetic, you know. And of course, every kid got a TV in his room, and every kid got games in his room. You know,
I didn't.
computer.
I didn't have a
And,
TV in my room.
oh, I didn't either.
We had the living room that had a TV in it, and then we had the family room that had the other TV in it that was and a computer in there because computer was a new thing, and they were trying to make sure I was keeping up with new technology. So we got an overpriced computer that wouldn't do the damn thing but play a few games.
They, well, and you know, you wonder what's going to happen to these people if, and this sort of spooky, but if you had the grid go down here in the U.S. for a while, well, when electricity goes down, cell phones going to go, everything's going to go. And what the hell are these people going to do if they lose these damn cell phones for a week or 2 weeks?
Well, if it gets that bad, the supply chain will shut down the whole 9 yards, and people learn how to use a gun to shoot you over a can of chili.
Yeah, that's right, Jay. I think that's one thing that's neat about this, and I'll bet you money that YouTube has saved a bunch of damn lives through this COVID deal.
Amen.
Yeah, of people being able to sit down and bullshit like we're doing right now, but not having to get around people. And
I watched it blow up 100-fold. I was already a YouTuber before it hit, and I watched YouTube grow so big their servers could not handle what was going on and all the glitches they had when it hit. Oh, it was amazing. It blew up big time.
yeah, it really did. And there's no telling how many suicides and stuff like this kept from happening.
That's funny, Cat. That is funny.
Well,
Oh, there we go.
I think that sunfish. I think that's a smart deal. You know, they need to. We sort of figured that's what happened. Um,
That's real smart.
yeah. I don't know if that grid ever goes down. You better. It's gonna be a whole new world because everything's computer anymore.
Oh yeah.
You know, for internet if the internet goes down, it works in a grid. You know, it
Are you
just
sure you lost power, Kenny? It wasn't a rosy episode.
No,
Had to
I,
get some.
I literally, the lights, everything here at the house went completely out for just a short few seconds. and I had to wait for my internet to reload. Thankfully, I've got a hotspot, so I can. If the internet goes out, I can still use my hotspot.
Well, this hot spot right here, we're not gonna go 4 damn hours. We done made 3.
Yeah. Good second time. What's the longest one you ever did, Ron? Wasn't that like 4.5 hours or something?
Yep.
4.5, 5 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
4.5, 5 hours. Yep.
You were just gonna come on for an hour. Here we said 3.
Oh,
I remember it well.
Hey, Roy.
12 hours.
No, we do not. We do not, Fairy Dust. Since I live in a trailer park, and because I don't own the land, I am not allowed, and I live in the city. I am not allowed to have a generator.
ain't that something? That's crazy.
Yeah, what a.
'Cause
Gets long to survive.
Yep. So I can't. I'm not allowed to. I'm because I don't own the property, and because I live in the city limits, I cannot have a generator.
Hey, Roy.
What?
If Ron's got to get up and go to work and do stuff, so he's gonna be wanting to end this here shortly. I was just gonna make a suggestion that you or Kenny doing after hours. Fire up a live and drag everybody over if they want to continue. Just a thought. No's a good answer too.
Like I said, I don't know if my power's going to hold up or not, since it just. I don't know how long my power's going to be on. No. I guess.
What are you looking at, Roy?
Trying to figure out what voltage I'm at. I think I'm at 13. I got plenty of power.
No, okay. There.
Oh yeah. I forget you got to live according to how much power you harvested some days.
Well, my solar was down all day.
Ooh, what happened?
I caught another wire heating up, and so I went to town today and got everything I needed. Lot bigger wire, heavier breaker. It was my fault. I remember doing it, but I went from 10 gauge wire to 8 gauge wire on a fusible link, and the 10 gauge wire was getting hot, but the 8 gauge wasn't. So I'm switching everything over to 6 gauge.
That's big.
Yeah.
You're harvesting some good power at that rate. Yeah. What's your run from your charge controller to your battery? How long is it?
It's gonna be less than a foot.
Perfect. You couldn't get better.
You know,
wires.
I'm
Go ahead,
gonna
Ron.
spend some money on solar before long. But I'm gonna set two individual systems up, and they're gonna be about 750 watts apiece. And we're talking about the air conditioning the other day. Now that'll work on air conditioning where you feed off the power of the sun during the daytime. To keep you, it have enough watt to run your AC.
Maybe.
And then the other one charging up your keeping your battery charged up to run at night. The combination of the two, if you got the right air conditioner, I think you can run an AC 24/7.
You'll be shocked, not the one on the roof of the camper, unless you got a big system.
Even the window units, you can, but you basically got to have them solar panels pointed directly at that sun.
Yep.
I mean, we got 750 on the roof. We're probably only bringing 100 or 200 watts in because they're flat. And an air conditioner run maybe 400, 500 watts. So if I had the full 750 coming in, 500 would be running that air conditioner, and the other 3 would be going into batteries. But because we're in the trees, it's flat. struggling with the solar. Not really bad because I got 4 batteries and a jackery, but I was on a slowly sinking ship and I didn't realize it because the 4 batteries had me used to a long term of power without really having to look at it. But yeah, I've learned quite a bit this week being up in these woods and well, plus monsoons, the clouds have been kicking in. It ain't been a good week for solar.
Well, this deal where I live is I'm going to try to play with it and see what I can do. Now there's a couple things that people do with air conditioners that really eat them up. One is they got a damn thermostat on it they try to use, and
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to run a damn air conditioner, you crank that son of a bitch wide open and not starting and stopping because that's when it really gets used. The second thing is I've got 2 wind generators ordered, 2 500-watt wind generators. Well, in Texas, the sun's either hotter than hell or when you really need AC, you've got clear skies and a lot of sun, or you've got high ass winds. You got one or the other. And I think it will do 90% of what I want to do.
Oh yeah, probably would.
And
There was a comment I wanted to address real quick. Sunfish, those little solar charge packs, I've done the stats on those. It takes 7 to 10 days to charge 1 pack on the sun to fully charge a battery pack. They're not.
Man, I love my jackery because it don't take long at all to charge that 240.
I'm talking about those little charge packs with the solar panel on them you buy.
Them are
takes at
just
least 7 days in the full sun to charge one of those packs up. But they're great to have.
Some of it's in your cable too, though, for charging speed. I just really learned that too.
Well, I buy those solar packs and I throw them on the dash of my car and just leave them there, and I come back a week later and they're charged.
Yeah, they're basically just good for emergency. I think another friend had one. And hers it charged at a pretty decent rate, but her husband said that if he had another, they have multiple cables, different cables laying around like everybody does. I think I got cables for everything now. But he said if he grabbed certain cables, he said it would charge really, really super slow.
Weird.
And I think all of our C cables are wearing out now because I think because even with our original cords with the phones, I'll plug them in now and we get that slow charging box and that.
Well, the cables they sell are commonly not UV protected. You have to wrap them in something.
Yeah, and UV's rough out here, definitely.
Yeah. So, Ron, on your roof air, if you have a 1,300-watt roof air on that camper, it takes another like 600 to 800 watts to run it that they don't even tell you about. 1,300 watts isn't what you really need. You need more like 1,850 to run the roof air after it started, and then you need another surge of close to 1,000 for the startup. So a 1,350-watt roof air is needing between 2,500 and 3,000 just to start, and then you're needing almost 2,000 watts to run it after it started, because the 1,300 BTUs doesn't take into account for the controller, the fans, all the other stuff that runs with it. And I had to learn all this to really see if I could run a roof air in an RV with solar. And when I learned that it took a 3,000 watt inverter just to start up and run roof air alone, I was quite shocked.
Well,
roof air is not efficient.
No, the thing about it is what you're talking about and what I'm talking about is completely different. Now, I'm not talking about on my cab over as much.
Okay.
I'm wanting to build a trailer that's.
Oh, you were telling me about that. Yeah. Now, what you were talking about would work.
Just an experiment.
Yeah. I was just talking about in general the roof air. When people think they're going to be able to run a roof air in a regular RV off a little bit of solar, it takes like 4 to 6 batteries, a lot of solar panels to recover them quickly, and a huge inverter just to start the thing up.
Yeah,
Fairy Dust EcoFlow will charge slower on the solar panels, but really fast on the shore power.
All right, I got another question for you. You set this thing up, and I know y'all are hardwired in your RVs, but if you set a deal up like this and you had a 3, 4, 5,000 watt inverter, and how much do you lose if you plug a 110 cord in there and run 25 or 30 feet to what you're wanting to run? Do you lose a lot once you get past that inverter?
The highest number I've heard is 30% on an inverter, but I don't think that's true. That's an awful lot to lose.
You lose a lot in 12 volt and 24 volt coming into it for the longer your wires ran. But once you up your voltage to 110, your losses become minimal compared to the 12 volt side. And you can still lose 5 to 20% depending on the length of your cord. And I'd have to get the calc. You can look at the formulas for that online. But once you hit the 110 volt side, your losses are not nearly as great as you'll think they are compared to the other side where you're harvesting the sun and feeding the batteries.
Well,
That's how I am, Sunfish. We pieced this solar system together. It's a Heinz. Our solar system's a Heinz 57, but it worked. My two little experiments didn't work out too well, but I know better now.
You've had RVs long. Think about it this way: if you plug in your RV to a power pole and run your AC, you're fine. But you had 50 foot of cord on it, it's not good for it. You put 100 foot of cord on it, and you could eventually burn up your AC. Those are the type of losses you'll deal with in the same manner.
About the same difference in a 25 foot cord wouldn't be any problem yet.
It shouldn't be an issue.
I didn't have any loss on a 100 foot cord, but I was on a Harbor Freight solar panel system then,
was that you're harvesting in at low voltage or the final result coming out of the inverter?
Yeah, that was the harvest part. So
yeah, see the harvest part, when you're upping your voltage and lowering your amps, you can harvest all day long, not get the wires hot. But once you up your voltage, your losses become less at that point. But you're drawing a lot of power when you go from 12 volt to 120, and your losses.
I got that 8 gauge wire. I put that back in tonight. I didn't put that 6 gauge in yet. But my solar panels are not hooked up right now, and that's where my heat was coming from. Was not the solar panel wire, but the wire going from the battery to the solar controller. That was the one heating up. But I unhooked the solar panels, but only when the sun come out. When it go by, behind the clouds, that wire would cool off pretty nice.
Yep.
But as soon as that sun come out, boy, that wire gets so hot you couldn't touch it. Like, no. We got lucky the first time. I don't think we're going to be lucky the second time. So I unhooked everything, went to town, and bought the right
you got to
stuff.
keep your charge controller as close to your batteries as possible, and keep that run as short as possible, like you're doing the 1 foot run. That's perfect.
I got a funny story about this today. I called up there, said, "Hey, I got 8 gauge wire going from solar controller to my batteries. It's a very short run. I just need a fuse that'll hold the 8 gauge." I said, "I got a 10 gauge fuse in there now. A mistake that I shouldn't have made." The guy says, "What kind of solar controller you got?" I said, "MPPT or whatever it is." He says, "No, I need a name brand." I said, "Why do you need a name brand for a solar controller when I just need a wire and a fuse?" "Well, I got to know what kind of solar controller you have and what kind of wire you have going from your solar controller to your battery." I said, "Okay, dude, I want to say this very slow for you. I need the wire going from the solar controller to the battery. I want that and a fuse." And then he goes right back to saying, "I need to know what kind of wire you have." I said, "It's a red wire. It's 8 gauge. I want a better wire with a fuse in it." And he says, "Well, I got to know your solar, the name brand of your solar controller." And I said, "Man, that's like asking somebody the name brand of their car for windshield washer fluid." I said, "I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm on my way there, and I'm bringing the wire." So I get there. This guy, he's showing me stuff on the phone. "Okay, you want this?" "Yeah, I want that." He said, "Well, how about this breaker?" I said, "Okay, I'll take that breaker." And I said, "Now that breaker is going to hold this 8 gauge wire, right?" And he says, "Oh yeah, you won't have no problem. You might get a little warm, but no problem." He goes back. He was back there about 10 minutes. He comes back. He's got 6 gauge wire for me, red, black, new lugs, a 60 amp breaker. I wanted the 50, but he got the 60. They were out of the 50. And he says, I'm going to upgrade you to 6-gauge wire. That 8-gauge wire is not going to hold the heat well for you. I was like, man, you just told me it would. He went back there and talked to somebody. He's what happened. Somebody sent him out with the right stuff.
Now, did you get it all hooked up, Roy? Will that 6-gauge wire actually fit in the charge controller?
It's still in the box. It's all still in the box.
He might have sent you home with wire that won't fit up inside the lug where you got to put it now. 8-gauge is pushing it. And don't be afraid to clip a few wires off of it at the end if you have to and turn it into 8-gauge.
Yeah, I think it fit.
Okay, because I found that an 8-gauge wire is about.
I wondered that when I left there, though. I did think of that. I was like, man, I hope this fits up in that solar controller.
Well, I tell you, there's a lot of folks have a lot of theories that don't get backed up until you actually put them out there. I used to get tickled welding. They'd tell you that old pipe welders that P5 rods is all they burn. Or you take a CP18 rod, they'd tell you that you can't do anything but run up hills and flats with it. And I run 1,000,000 miles of downhills on pipe fences. And the one that always cracked me up was that they'd say, you've got to have a Lincoln Oilfield Special 225. That's the only welder that'll weld right. I take a damn cracker box, a 220 cracker box, and run the same damn rod that I can run in that weld machine, unless they're a straight DC rod. And I can't tell the difference, and I weld 1,000,000 of the pipe. But some of that stuff comes down the road, and some of it you just got to try.
Yeah. Boy, some fish is right. Them grounds are important.
Oh,
we thought that was my first issue was the ground, because we discovered, I was on the phone with Rat Pack up there when I found it. Opened up the closet door, we got to talking about solar or something, I think. I went to looking inside the closet and found my fuse was all melted, and oh man, we got to fix this. So I put another one in its place. I had another one I had made up just like it, but I thought it was going to be okay because we found the ground was just bare. It wasn't even tight. It was just hanging in there. It worked its way loose from these Arizona roads.
Well, folks, it's time.
I thought that was it, but no, just 10-gauge wire. Don't ever run 10-gauge wire from the solar controller to the battery.
Nope.
Y'all, if one of y'all want to open the room up, or
I actually got one set up for you here, Ron.
Okay.
I'm gonna try it, and what I'll do is I'll go for an hour, and then I'm gonna go raid the Moonlight Adventures because they're coming on at 5 o'clock. They're doing a special with the Down Under Cruisers at 5 o'clock, which will make it 7 p.m. In Australian. So
I don't care what you do at that time in the morning because I'm gonna be sleeping.
But Ron Darrell, Mitchell's raid.
Well, thank you, Guinea. Ron.
Yes, sir.
On your panel tonight. Thank you very
much.
much.
I haven't fell asleep when you're live in a long time. You've really livened them up lately, haven't you?
Well,
I haven't fell asleep when you're lives in a long time. You've really livened them up lately, haven't you?
Oh, goodness. All right. There you go.
All right. I'll see y'all over there.
All righty.
Bye,
Good
guys.
night, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming in.
Thanks for having me, Ron. As
Thank
always.
you, Ron.
Better
Take
too.
care.